Hey, it's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I'm Ron Bennington. You know, I'd like to see him show up, and I'm talking about our musical guest today, Beck. I'd like to see him show up on the Leah Remedy get-together. Let's see what he's got to on.
He's an old school Scientologist, right? Like
a lot of them are.
From birth.
A lot of them are, more than you would expect. A lot of them have been birthed into that. One thing I've learned from the Leah Remedy, we're going to get you Scientology show, is a lot less Scientologists than you would think.
Really?
In the country and world. Yeah, we used to think just tons of them. Now it seems like Clearwater and LA are the two. And England, for some reason, there's some that come out of England, few in Australia. Very white Scientology.
Yeah.
Very, very white.
And then with, obviously, the exception of Clearwater, which I'm not sure why that is the case. But all of those are like very actor showbiz places too. Well, like a lot of our actors come from.
Well, that was a setup from the beginning, and they have that celebrity center right there on in Hollywood, the land of fruits and nuts. But Clearwater is the center. That's the center. They went and bought up a bunch of property, and that's where. And I don't think there's a lot of them in L.A., but that's where the. For some reason, we're pretending we're sailors. People are.
Right.
They signed a $1 billion. I think they're called the org $1 billion year contract. And children even sign that, so you're kind of in it for the next 1 billion years.
That's too long of a commitment for me.
Also, way too hard of a job. And as we saw in the last couple episodes, some of them hang themselves. Last night, Paul, as the director that dropped out, is it Haggis or?
Paul Haggis.
Yeah, Paul Haggis. His daughter was on. And she was born into it, you know, so she don't know the difference. Like, we're all born into some religion. And she had a friend committed suicide. A lot of suicides this year. A lot of suicides and sexual abuse.
Now, the suicide just from the pressure, or do you think they target people who are already kind of on the edge?
They don't believe in psychiatry, so if they have anybody who's depressed. Now, by the way, a lot of Catholics commit suicide. A lot of Protestants commit suicide.
Sure.
Suicide's a weird fucking deal. I don't know if you can see it coming out of nowhere. But when you say, you know, okay, you're suicidal, we'll give you some vitamins and a lot of steam baths or whatever. But I think this, from watching the show, Scientology is going to come down because of Leah Remedy.
Wow, you think that she's going to be like the final straw? Like she's going to just blow the fucking doors open?
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Seems like it. And the key, and she's aiming. If this was Star Wars, that little kind of garbage thing in the Death Star. What
the
was
little fighter jet.
Yeah, but what was the point that they had to
It was
hit?
like an exhaust port or something?
Okay, an exhaust. By that you mean exhaust?
Exhaust.
Okay.
Where eggs come out of.
Yeah. You were saying a word very funny yesterday. I can't think of it.
Just always a strange emphasis. Like you just take a syllable and you just put.
He puts the emphasis on the wrong syllable, is what he does. But that little point in the Death Star is going to be Mr. Thomas Cruise. Mr. Thomas Cruise Mapplethorpe. That's my, you know how people are trying to predict the thing that's going to bring Trump down?
Yeah.
My prediction, Trump and Scientology dissolve on the same day.
Oh, my God.
Both of it for ties with Russian banking before they ran. Discuss. Let me say this about Chris Stanley. Great time last night, Chris. You turn your thing around. You as the ultimate judge. Fantastic job. Vito, running straight up to the stage to give me your strength and your ability to just come up to the stage and go, we got a great guest. You'll take him right now. I was loving that. I think he grew up last night.
Yeah, he did. He did grow up last night.
Yeah.
And I felt like our team was all like a move.
Team was moving.
I was getting notes and messages from everyone.
The only thing I would like better if you guys would have had on headsets and we're just talking to each other. In 3, 2, 1.
I need you guys need a series of hand signals that look really intense for us from the stage. I don't know what's going on, but
when are we playing Street Jocks?
This Friday, 2 p.m.
Friday, 2 p.m. And we did something different. It was the comedians versus the broadcasters. Just a blast. And 2 big comedians dropped in to do Street Jocks.
Yes, I love the pop-ins.
Yeah.
A pop-in is a very cool thing.
It's exciting for the audience. It's why I tell people don't say, because I like when the audience pops. Does it add anything to the show? Probably not. But I like that moment.
Yeah, it's fun in the moment. We're enjoying it. And it's always fun when somebody, the crowd is going crazy for somebody, but we're still on the stage. Because I'm like, yeah, I'll take some of that fun.
Yeah, well, yes, I feel that 100%. I'm always, if there's any applause, I'm like, thank you. You're not even looking at me, but thank you very much.
I brought this to you.
Ari did his show as surprises the other night. I thought it helps.
I always think it's a smart move because then the audience is excited. Doug Benson does that as well.
Doug Benson will say, do not tell anybody you're coming. I'm like, you sure you don't want me to tell anybody I'm coming? But there are people you can't get Ant not to announce. He will. He just does it. He's like, I want to announce something right now.
I'm not going to tell him any of my secrets.
Yeah, O and A will never, they're like, I heard something in the hall and I want to say it right now. Don and Mike used to be the same way.
They would always say whatever is secret thing was going on there.
Yeah, they would always say. They just, they can't help themselves. It's I guess a radio thing. If you want to break a story, you want to have leaks. But it's an incredible amount of fun. Chris Stanley was the ultimate judge last night. And if we do Street Jokes again, I want to even expand that role because I love. I'm trying to turn him into Joe West, the umpire. If I get what I ever wanted to do,
it's been a dream of mine.
I like a nice voice of God coming from the back.
By the way, I met Joe West before Gail was born. I believe it may have even been his rookie year. I was working at a hotel down in Florida, and he was staying there.
Just checked in?
Oh, no, all the umpires were. All the umpires were staying in his hotel, and all the umpires in those days got fucked up.
It seems like, even if you see an older umpire today, he seems like a guy who gets totally whacked out.
They got blind drunk every night in those days. Blind drunk. And they didn't have a friend of the world, just each other. You know what I mean? Like the fucking, I guess you're not even supposed to interact with players. And then I ended up meeting the first umpire who ever came out. And that was even before I started doing radio. He was a friend of G. David Howard's, and Pallone was his name. There was a big song about him, Pallone Again, Naturally, when people thought he blew some, call. I think later even he was treated, but he was a very fun guy. He was used to hanging out at this comedy club, and he was a blast. I think I probably only knew him for like 1 year. But like I said, he and G. David were friends. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, we got some nice presents here today, huh?
Who are the presents from?
The cookies and the popcorn are from Maureen. She dropped them off last night in Street Jokes.
I see Skinny Pop in there.
That's right.
And speaking of Skinny Pop, Maureen.
I know.
She looked fantastic.
She looked great.
Yes.
And then the candy, cigarettes, and cigars and dog treats are from Janice in Chicago.
Aw, Janice.
Don't do that, you. That's so sweet of her.
Thanks for the smokes, Janice. They're expensive up here.
Are you going to take them to Paris with you?
I don't want to leave them here. I'm just going to go heavy on the duty-free on the American side.
Yeah, but shouldn't you be smoking some sort of cool Parisian cigarette?
Those little brown ones like Joni Mitchell was.
Oh, shit.
Are you going to get a beret over there?
I was actually thinking about it yesterday. Should I get a beret?
Yeah.
Think it'll look good on me?
No. You don't have the head for it.
Yeah.
But I'll get you some money to get me a nice French beret.
Okay, yeah.
I don't like the little thing on the top.
Oh, no, I wouldn't get a little thing on top.
It's very hard to find without the little thing on the top.
Most of them do have the little doink.
I'm gonna look. I mean, it's Paris. They got to have berets without that shit.
First of all, you don't know anything about that.
I know. He's acting like he knows everything about Paris already. I mean, I could change since he booked this flight.
I could see if you came back from Paris and act like I know a lot about Paris, but not just because you have a ticket. All right, Holly lives down in the world of Scientology. Holly, are you clear?
Yes.
Good.
I saw on the news last week, this guy, he owns a bar in Clearwater. A buddy of his is a contractor building a penthouse for Tom Cruise. So the guy's like, oh, I'm going to take you up there and look at it. The bar owner did a Facebook Live inside the penthouse. The next day, the Scientology sign showed up at his bar, and he says that he found hidden security cameras everywhere watching him.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, boy.
You don't want to fuck around with them. Just lay your enmity.
So he's probably dead.
No, I don't think they kill people. I just think they harass them or sue them. But, it's just a TV show. It's just a very exciting TV show to watch. I can't get you guys into it.
I know. I really have to. A friend of mine had
Thanks, Holly.
A situation where it was like when she first moved to the city. So she's from the Midwest and she's nice and she was, not untrusting of people. Yeah. And got into a conversation with Scientologists who were like, oh no, now come, maybe come in here. We'll talk for a little bit. Claims that she would try to get out of the situation. She was stuck in there for something like 7 hours, and they weren't letting her go. I've
had the same thing with condo sales stuff. So, salespeople are salespeople. But none of this stuff do we know for a fact. It's just from the TV show. Leah Remedy is against Scientology. And she goes out of her way, or A&E does, to show that Scientology disagrees with each point along the way.
Right.
But I just noticed that Leah is gunning right now for Mr. Cruise. But when I lived down there, John Travolta used to be there.
Yeah.
All the time hanging out in Clearwater. And this, he never seems to get cut. People blame Cruise, but Travolta seems to get a pass.
Is he not as high up on the... I know that no one is as high as him, but is he a high ranking?
Well, he's a big celebrity and has... Yeah. He was there before Tom Cruise by years. By
really?
At least 7-8 years, yeah. He was back, I believe, even in the Welcome Back Kotter days. That's how far back we're going.
Wow. I would have never known.
Mr. Kotter used to do a street joke every show.
That was the gimmick?
Yeah.
I've Welcome Back Kotter is one of those things, I've seen clips of, I've probably seen 1 or 2 episodes, but it's more a social, reference point, but I can't really go, oh, there was this one episode where this happened.
Well, if you saw one episode, you saw every episode. They were very good about redoing the same episode over and over and over with just a change. Everybody, you had 7 or 8 people who had to get their catchphrases in.
Right.
That was really the time of catchphrases, because I think you could turn it into a big T-shirt. John Travolta's was brilliant. It was up your nose with a rubber hose.
That's great.
And up your nose with a rubber hose. And in the flight, you just hear, yes, you said it. Yeah. Even the audience would just go crazy. And I can't believe it happened again. We were just sitting at home going, this fucking guy's a genius. I just hope.
And so
I hope he gets a disco movie. It'll push him over the top.
And then Mr. Cotter's gimmick was always to tell
he would tell a
joke.
Street joke at the end, but he would always say it was his uncle. So just take any joke, and then he would say, "Did I tell you about my uncle?" It would be just him and his wife, and he would tell an amusing little street joke. And this is another reason why I think that we're dying up here. Movie makes no sense, because he was one of the guys that was at the Comedy Store and all that in those days that went on to be a hit, and he was telling street jokes. Jimmy J.J. Walker, Freddie Prinze, these weren't, well, they all the black guys on the show ended up dropping the M-bomb or talking. Nobody was doing them, but people weren't even cursing on stage a lot other than the famous ones for it. And that was the thing of like, hey, George Carlin, you've ruined your career by cursing. Right. Hey, Richard Pryor, you've ruined your career.
And the bold ones stuck out for a reason. Like, it wasn't the standard to be doing that kind of
like
humor.
It is now. Yeah. I mean, you were trying to do two things. You were trying to open, you were trying to get on the Tonight Show, because that means that you could open for a variety act like a Sonny and Cher or something.
Right.
Occasionally, some people would open for bands and they would do, absolutely terrible. You weren't in the fucking mood to see a band. Go back and listen to the Albert Brooks bit, what it was like working for Richie Havens. And it will tell you what it was like. It's fucking one of the funniest bits ever done. I would actually see if it isn't on a tube somewhere. But, it was impossible. Right. It was impossible. There was even a thing, I think Albert worked open, I think he said, for Sly and the Family Stone, and told them that they were, he was like in Portland or something, or Seattle, and said, you're a terrible bunch of people, and I'm going to tell the people on the Tonight Show about that. You're a terrible city. Do we have it?
Finding it.
It's not on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. I got it.
How long is that bit, though?
15 minutes.
Yeah, it really is like a 15-minute bit. If I was over there, I'd be able to fucking figure out where to pick it up, because it's kind of the end of that bit. Just play it for a second. Oh no.
This is the beginning, from the end or the beginning?
From closer to the end.
But they had a great cost to them in their new Flint, Michigan plant. They've put in 4 expensive animated smokestacks. So now at 2 minutes to 5, it's a great thing.
What bit do you have there?
This is Memoirs of an Opening Act, parts 1 and 2.
No, that's not the bit. Just put, where's the Alamo at?
In Texas?
Yeah, but what city? San Antonio. See if there's like a San Antonio or something like that. I don't know why you'd go to the Michigan thing. That doesn't have anything.
Memoirs of an Opening Act is the bit that keeps coming up.
Yeah, but it's probably, it seems like he's doing 4 or 5 different things there. Julian is the one that was telling me how moved she was the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Julian, how are you, darling?
I'm good. Thanks, Ron.
Did you get your sleep?
Finally, yes.
I don't know whether it's because of you or the fact that I wasn't there, but I didn't sleep at all last night.
Maybe the eclipse has just set your time off completely.
This is something that just happens to me every once in a while. It's been going on for like this
You have
week.
A different, probably internal clock. This is a thing, is that some people run on, like a sundown, sun up kind of clock. Some people are like adjust to the 24-hour system, and other people, it just doesn't work for them.
I don't know. A lot of times I sleep normal.
Yeah.
And then I'll just hit patches like this where I don't. So, Julian, you loved the eclipse?
I did. I had such a beautiful time. You explained it perfectly yesterday because I heard the replay. And I don't know. I was moved by it. I can't really describe it. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing that happened. It showed me something larger than myself. That's never a bad thing.
No, it isn't.
No. So, it was great. It was a great drive. This country is so fucking beautiful.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's a stunning country.
It is really weird to think the variation across this country in from mountains to ocean to desert. Like, it is a really phenomenally beautiful country. Like,
there's no state that isn't pretty, and then you get to Canada, there's no province that isn't pretty. Mexico's beautiful. It's kind of a beautiful planet.
Yeah.
It doesn't get a lot of hype for that,
right.
But it's a pretty stunning planet. But when you're in Canada, you're just like, what the fuck? And then you find out Canadians, they're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when you're in Maine, those people know it's beautiful. When you're in California, they know it's beautiful. Wherever you go, it looks a little different, and it has its own vibe, but it is stunning. It's a stunning country.
So anyway, I wanted to recommend some cigarettes for Chris to buy.
Oh, good.
They're called Golwas.
Gaulois?
I like the name of that.
Gaulois.
Yes, the Gaulois. And you get the reds because they're amazing.
All right.
Always get reds, no matter where you go.
Always.
It starts with a G, so you should see it. And the pack looks very French. I used to love them when I smoked, so.
So you would be a girl that smoked French cigarettes.
Fuck yeah. In France.
Yeah. That's the kind of chick that you want to hang out with.
Chris, you need to be that kind of chick.
Oh, these look good.
And you need to shoot dope underneath that fucking thing. It just says smoking kills in the front of it.
I don't need to see
that.
That
It kind of takes the excitement out of it.
Let's romance for that one.
Yeah.
Well, they're all going to have that, unfortunately. So,
what's his logo there?
It's like a helmet with wings on it.
Well, that's wasn't that like Icarus or one of those things? Mercury, maybe Mercury.
It was Mercury.
Okay.
Mercury had him on his feet, the wings.
But somebody did on their helmet. Put in opening act, San Antonio, wings on helmet.
Does Thor have wings on his helmet? Thor? I made that up.
He's not real. We're talking about real stuff.
Thor's real.
Marvel real. All right, baby. Good talking to you. All
right. Thanks, guys. Love you guys. Bye.
Right, bye. Little Brazilian girl smoking French cigarettes.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Goes without saying.
Chris, make sure you do everything right there. Don't mess it up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear that you weren't eating good food and smoking cool cigarettes.
He's going to do what he always does. He's going to be drunk in the fucking gutter. Hey, Vito, is there a reason Lappy's not hooked up today, or you had a great show last night?
No, I was told it was set up.
You were told?
Yeah.
I was like a fucking mouse comes in and talks to you?
No, I did not set up the studio today. Jen and the intern set it up, and I was told everything.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that it happened.
Yes.
Okay, you can't just sit there and I'm the one telling you that it's not fucking set up. Don't try to pass blame. Just be a fuck. Look at Chris jumps in. He'll never learn to be a manager. He wants to be the one-man band. Now, how's Vito going to learn? If you fucking, you know what I mean? If you go out and mow the lawn for him.
I was just going on speed.
That was too close to my face, Chris.
Sorry.
Please walk back around, use your own microphone.
Do you think he has stank mouth? Was that what got to you?
Yeah, it was very close.
Yeah.
Our mouths were so close to each other just now.
In an exciting way?
No, it wasn't exciting.
We got some people stopping by today. Aaron Berg's going to make the scene as well as Jababy. And I said to Chris, I go, what does G-Baby want to talk about? And he goes, well, he's in town. And I go, so he wants to talk about being in town? And he goes like this, and movies. We never, you can't get on a TV show by just being in town. You have to say, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I got
I'm in the neighborhood.
On. Yeah. Oh, you don't understand. I'm close. I'm very close by. Thank you, Christopher. And Vito, we just got shown up there. While you're trying to pass the blame, Chris Stanley ran up and took care of things.
Just gotta take action sometimes, whether or not it's the right or wrong action.
Magic of our sex love. I'll tell you this, if Becca's a Scientologist, then I support Scientology.
That's kind of how I felt when I found out that he was in it. I was like, can't be all bad.
Is Jason Lee still a Scientologist?
He is not, but he did not leave as an SP. He quietly left without saying anything bad about the...
So an SP is what exactly? That's when
suppressive person.
Okay. So that's when they've kind of cast you out completely and you're now
They shun you.
Yeah.
They don't talk to you even if it's your own parents.
So he just like dipped out. Just like, hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and Irish goodbye this entire religion.
He left on a skateboard and everybody thought, okay.
It's been fun, but get the hell out of here.
I'm gonna miss him. I hope you visit though.
Don't forget us.
What's that, Chris?
You should just say, don't forget me.
Don't forget me. Sarah Jessica Parker had a dramatic reaction to the Eclipse. Should either be under San Antonio or... Where's she at there? Just hit play.
We did it! We made it! Oh my God! We saw it. Matthew, yes, exactly. It's so humbling. It's so extraordinary.
I stop it for a second before we go back around. Why is she whispering? And what is humbling? That the moon is in front of the sun? It should be humbling all the time.
I know, but also, like, it doesn't seem so humbling when you're, like, camera in hand and you're still, like, talking through the entire thing. Like, humbled would be, like, later you're like, you know, I couldn't even speak because I couldn't believe how...
The way our own Julian was.
Yes.
She didn't think, how could I turn this into a selfie that goes across the world? But again, if you're humbled, you should be humbled by the sun every day. It's still mind-blowing to think that there's a sun, that we're just the right amount away from to have all this life.
I love that she's taking credit, though. We did it. We did it, and I'm humbled by it, that we accomplished this.
I don't even feel like she's close enough with her husband, calling him Matthew. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was
like,
weird.
What, like, you don't have, like, a little nickname? Maddie? You're going full name?
Matthew.
Matthew. Matthew. We did it. I'm so humbled in this moment.
Who typed this up, Chris?
I did.
Why do you type things up at your point in your career?
Because I had booked G-Baby, so I just thought I'd type it up real quick.
You book everybody. So you type up everything real quick.
I thought you stopped typing things.
I usually do. I didn't type up anything else. I just typed up that one today.
You know what? We are so close to vacation. I'm going to just try to be as nice as I can because I'm the fucking raw nerve. But we're humbling. We made it. We did it. All right, plug away, Chris, and then play his music.
G-Baby is here. Jermaine Lucier. He's the entertainment reporter for Gizmodo and IO9. On Twitter, it's at Jermaine Lucier.
What, the part that they're working on?
Yeah.
We've been working on studios, I think, for 6 years now, so there's always one part of the building that's a mess.
This side of the building creeps me out because it looks like the Upside Down from Stranger Things. So everything is like hanging.
Down. Yeah.
So
but
creepy.
Just walking in from like the lobby, now you can see inside all these studios. It used to not be like that.
Well, how did it used to be? I don't remember.
They're closed off. There's
Were they?
glass. Maybe there was a couple you could see in, but now there's way more.
Well, it's good to see you, my friend, and how's your movie summer been?
Pretty good. Pretty good. We're not on the air right now.
Yeah, we've been on the air.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I saw the on air off. I'm sorry.
No, but the thing is, a lot of people tell me all the time, "Are we on the air?"
Yeah.
And I go, "No, there's no difference with us. We talk about the same thing."
Yeah. By the way, I was and I listen to the show all the time and I hear that, and I can't believe I just fell right into that trap. Fell right into that trap. Movie summer's been pretty good, I think.
What's been your big favorite of the year?
I don't know. I mean, like, it's hard for me to figure out. I see so many. But right now, the movie that I'm thinking about still is Brigsby Bear.
I like Brigsby Bear.
It's a fun movie.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to end up like in my top 10 or anything like that. It probably will. But it was just such a different movie, and like, as a person who's just like a fanboy and stuff like that, I sort of got it on a different level of like being obsessed with something.
You get that crazy about something.
Right, and then finding like your love in that thing. Like he found, I don't want to spoil the movie, but he sort of finds what he's meant to do in the thing he loves.
Right.
And that kind of really connects with me.
Yeah, it was a super sweet movie. Like, it's funny, but it's really cute.
I also like making art with your friends when you're a little kid. You're so much better to say, like, the kids should watch Spanky and Our Gang and then say, we're going to start a business. We're going to start a show. But you turned me on, of course, by pitching Baby Driver hard. That's a movie that still stays in my head.
Yeah, that's right. I saw it 3 times, and I think it got better every time. It's so much fun.
I really enjoyed that movie.
It's like watching it, I said, like, when I walked out of it, I felt like I'd been at like a rock concert. Not only just because of the soundtrack, just the way it made me feel. You walked out on like a buzz.
Right.
Like, man, goddamn, that was so great.
I talked to somebody who despised it. Like, they didn't get it.
I kind of wondered if it would be one of those kind of polarizing movies. Because at the very beginning, I'm like always kind of just feeling something out in the beginning. It's like it takes a minute for me to be won over, and I'm like, am I going to really, really like this, or is this going to turn me off? And I ended up really digging it. But I could see how it would be that way.
Well, the movie goes from a long driving sequence into a long walking sequence.
Right.
And if you don't buy that, you're in hell. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like if he doesn't pull that off, the rest of the movie is terrible. And I've found it to be unbelievable.
And I think even that, and I think if you, in that walking sequence, that's something he times the music with the lyrics, with all the production design.
Yeah.
And if you like pick up on that, you're like, whoa, what is happening? This is like on another level, like what he's doing here. But the thing is, like, I love that movie, but a lot of people, that I talk with that didn't love it, they said, compared to Edgar's other movies, it wasn't saying anything. Where like Shaun of the Dead, you know, he's like growing up, and Hot Fuzz, you know, it's about a town, small towns, and this one's about a guy who races. And like he gets out of, you know, crime or whatever, but it's not saying anything. Like even World's End is really, you're saying something about a guy who, you know, really struggled with addiction, all these things, and moves out, and then Baby Driver doesn't have that. And I don't know if that's because, you know, Edgar did this one by himself, without Simon, sort of a thing, but I agree with that, but it doesn't really bother me because I think the movie is an exercise in cool, and like it works on that, you know.
And it's also about a love for this kind of movie that doesn't really exist anymore. You know, like he's modernized a lot of that 70s gearhead movie, which was a genre of one time, and Tarantino took a look back at that in a whole different way. But you know, I don't know if I got Year's End the first time I saw it. You know, I was like, oh, this was kind of good, but not as good as the others. And now I just think it's fucking genius.
Yeah, his movies are so rewatchable. And it's crazy that not World's End, that Baby Driver made more than all his other movies combined.
Yeah.
Wow, it's so well deserved. Finally, this guy gets a hit. You know, he's just been knocking out awesome movies that people love later, too late, you know, and that's when they finally, and they're talking about like making a sequel. I don't want him to make a sequel. Like, don't do it. Like, I know you could continue that story.
Toddler Driver? But you know why? He knows it's hard to make movie. It's hard to make an original movie now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
they have a hit.
If you look at anybody, they're like, can I do a reboot of something? Can I do
Yeah. And particularly when you get a win, like you said, you're going to go, if this is what people want, and I can guarantee that they're going to show up, is this really what I wanted to do? Maybe not.
Right. Yeah, it's like he'd rather be working on something he likes than, you know, like going around town being like, this is a great idea, and they say no.
Oh, I just saw that like a while ago that the Rough House gang was looking to reboot Halloween. I'm like, why, dude? You guys are already into something, but I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Blumhouse.
Yeah, but they were getting the Rough House guys to do it.
Oh, okay.
Blumhouse went to those directors, producers, and
because it's Danny McBride and David Gordon Green, I think, are writing it, right?
And that's the guys. They're from Rough House Pictures together. So Blumhouse had the. By the way, do you find him like incredibly interesting, that whole Blumhouse thing, that he can make something for a nickel and bring $100 in? It's kind of weird.
It's great. I mean, like, and I like that he's giving filmmakers chances, and he has things that, you know, are sort of guaranteed. But like, as a huge Unbreakable fan, that he got M. Night Shyamalan to make Split, which is linked to that. It's been out long enough, Chris. So you're looking.
Damn it!
Like that blew my mind, and he will forever be in my heart, in my good graces, for that surprise and for giving Shyamalan the idea to finally bring back this franchise that I love. So, like, and that's only because that movie cost like, I don't know, I'm guessing like $30 million or something, you know, and then makes $120 million, and he's like, okay, well, on to the next one, you know, like, so I love that he's giving people chances, because there's not many. Like, Baby Driver is a studio movie that cost $60 million. There's none of those anymore. And there rarely are.
Yeah.
No.
Are you looking forward to this Bruce Willis Death Wish, White versus Black?
No, not really. The film is Eli Roth, though, right?
Yes.
I think so. I like Eli Roth. I mean, I'll see it, but I'm not like, it's nothing that's like really super duper on my radar for, you know.
What's on your radar for, let's do your Oscar picks today. Your Oscar picks before you see them.
Right. No, they're probably stuff I can't think. I'm actually really excited for It. I hear it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm seeing it on Sunday, and the buzz on it has been like crazy good.
I'm almost never excited about the idea of like a reboot or a retelling of a story. And then I'm not the biggest horror fan, but something about that trailer, I'm like, I'm pretty interested in to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I mean,
the clown.
Yeah.
People have a natural fear of clones.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is a reboot, but it was a reboot of like a miniseries that it was popular and people still think of it as like a movie, but it was this is the first movie of it, for real. Even that was Tim Curry, which is awesome. But like, this has got a big budget feel, I guess.
Is it also like a longer piece or?
No, this is, I heard that it sort of ends with like part 1. Like, so this is them as kids, and if they make a sequel, it would be the same characters as adults.
Yeah. When I was a kid, my brother and I were like, kind of had to psych ourselves up because we were like, we want to see it, but it looks really scary and there's a clown in it. And we rent the movie, we put the movie in, we're like, interesting. Like, we're finishing part 1, we're like, it feels very final. I mean, I don't know where they're going to take the story. Oh, we played tape 2. So,
did you end up enjoying the prequel?
Yeah, we did. We watched it like a prequel, but we were like, seems like this is kind of an end. I don't know where they're going to take the story. Interesting. Okay, flashback.
Why were you guys like the Stranger Things kids? Where were your parents when all this was happening?
Yeah, a lot of times me and the wife now, since I've last been in, right?
Congratulations.
By the way, my mom hates it when I say the wife.
Oh.
So I'm sorry, Mom, she's probably listening. So,
but I heard you're already having affairs, which I thought was interesting.
Interesting.
Don't even joke about it.
She and I both worked at video stores growing up, so we'll always be like, "Oh, was that the double tape?" Yeah, the double tape.
Yeah.
Well, we were just talking about like. The Godfather Legacy. I'm like, that was a triple tape? That was a triple tape. Like, we always think of that in video store terms.
First of all, Vito and Jen have never seen a video store, and neither one of them has read a newspaper. Isn't that crazy?
Really, really
You worked for a magazine.
I worked for magazines and newspapers, yeah.
What was the first magazine you worked for? Was that Premiere?
Premiere Magazine, yeah. I interned at Premiere Magazine.
Now, do you guys even remember Premiere Magazine?
I remember Premiere Magazine.
I do.
It was a fucking happy day when Premiere, because you did not have a website to go to for all this. And you were just like, I remember the first film magazine I read was Film Comment, was the name of it, I think. I was like, I can't believe a magazine like this exists.
Right.
a magazine that will sit down and talk about a movie at length.
Right? I used to get like Starlog and Fangoria, which were, the sci-fi and horror magazines, but it was the same thing. I was like, oh cool, this like in the making of A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. How did they do the makeup? And like, cause it was so niche, you couldn't get that anywhere. It was awesome.
And now you write for that kind of stuff.
Now I do, yeah. I'm literally, I was just talking to some friends tomorrow. This weekend, I guess Terminator 2 is coming out in 3D. They're re-releasing it. And so I got to talk to, the co-writer and a co-producer on the movie just about the making of it and how that movie kind of, could that movie be made today under the scrutiny and microscope of the internet? So I talked to them about that, but to sit there and like talk on the phone with these people who were had made Terminator 2, a movie that I saw when I was like 11 years old and meant so much to me. I'm like, I can't believe I'm talking to these people. Like, my job is just the freaking coolest. It's so good.
But did you guys come to the conclusion that you can't be shocked now because of the internet?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I didn't really come to a conclusion about it, but yeah, like that was one of the first movies, according to them, that like they had to sign NDAs. They had to read the script only in a room. They weren't allowed to root out.
Yeah.
Producer had like paper shredder. They wouldn't let scripts out of the building. And, she said the first time because the first Terminator ends where they kill the Terminator and everybody was like, well, how are they going to make a second one?
Right.
And they said that nobody really knew how the angle they took at all until the first teaser trailer came out. And the teaser trailer, which I rewatched yesterday, is just these, like assembly line putting together Terminators. And then it ends with Arnold's face and the title. And that's so that told everyone they needed to know, oh shit, Terminators there's not just one.
Right.
They can be mass produced. And then like that just let people up. And so that was the kind of piece of information that like, for like, Star Wars Episode 8 or something, that would have been out, years before. But with them, the secrecy actually worked, but now with so many people looking every little thing and every interview being analyzed to death, it's a different world.
Well, the other thing that they figured out that was genius, because I remember this happened with the Jaws movie. By the second Jaws movie, right, people were cheering for Jaws, right?
Yeah.
In Halloween, they would start to cheer for, so they were like, we know that they're going to be excited to see the Terminator. and they fucking spun him into being a good guy.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
It was brilliant.
Yeah. God, I remember being a little kid and seeing that movie for the first time, and those are like one of those movies where, like, you know, it's bigger than life, and like being a kid and watching that and like the suspense of it, like I can remember the feeling I felt like during that opening sequence and the skull gets crushed and just being like, I'm about to watch the most terrifying, you know, like.
You're totally right.
That was also that short time that people could be blown away by CGI.
Yeah.
Like you could see anything now.
Yeah.
You could see anything and you go, I don't know, I guess they do it with a computer.
Yeah.
But then you're like, how the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean all the melting mercury, like,
and it's like, and now that's like the simplest thing in the world.
Right.
I mean, it's really just the thing that Cameron did on The Abyss like a couple of years before, but then they made it a little more human.
And then, of course, the people that saw that didn't see The Abyss a couple years before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was, you know, the Terminator 2 was literally like a kid's movie, and The Abyss was this failed adult film.
Yeah.
You know?
Which I saw like many years later, and I love that movie.
I love that movie.
It's such a good movie.
It's so claustrophobic.
Yeah. Oh, it's super tense.
Yeah. And Terminator 2, just looking back at it, like, I have 100% distinct memories of seeing it in the theater, like you, Gail. And then also just, it's such a great movie. Script wise, it's all very, very tight and very, very, it all makes sense and it folds in on itself and it's very, very smart. And then I talked to the guy and they're like, yeah, we wrote it in 6 weeks. I'm like, what? I was like, James Cameron's been working on Avatar sequels for 6 years, you know, and we haven't started moving it, but that movie is just like, it came together. Like,
well, the action told the story. So, you know, Cameron is kind of writing with the fucking camera of that. You know, it's really, you know, action movies are normally so kind of stupid. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to see an action movie and go, oh, this is a film. This is kind of a brilliant filmmaker, you know? It's like we talk about Ron.
That's a good one,
The Matrix is a perfect example. And The Matrix was maybe the last movie that I watched that I went, how the fuck? How the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, I like the raid movies that, from Indonesia the last couple of years that are like these really great action movies.
They are. Indonesia? Come on, man. Make America great again. Right?
They were trying to remake them because they're such great movies. They're like, oh, we should remake The Raid. It's like, you can't. They're just like, when you think about like great action movies, in recent memory, those are like, those stand out. 100%.
It's a really hard thing to do. All right, Chris, I'm going to ask you, because you're kind of an action movie guy.
Yeah.
What's the last action movie that totally blew you away?
John Wick was the one that was like,
the first John Wick was shocking.
Because I had
shockingly great.
I hadn't watched and enjoyed an action movie in years and years and years. But I was like, I like Keanu Reeves. I'll give this a shot. I was like, holy shit, this is actually fucking entertaining.
So it's funny, it's the second Keanu Reeves movie where, like, before it came out, you're like, I don't want to see this fucking Keanu Reeves movie. Then it was The Matrix. You know, because I thought that 100%. I'm like, I don't want to see this. It's like he's in a black coat. And John Wick's the same thing. Oh, great. It's him in a suit with a dog.
Yeah, and you're just like, fuck.
Oh shit, that movie's awesome.
I hope that he gets into that hotel and checks in. Speed is another one. An action film that is literally just told from the action. None of the dialogue is, you don't need to watch it and understand English. You're like, fuck. Speed. I hope they keep that bus going.
John Wick, I think the action is definitely good and that's a perfect example, but I think those movies are good because of the world it creates. Like, it's a world of assassins that you don't know anything about. You want to know more about it. And so you get to see him like kick ass and stuff, but like the sequel I like too. It's pretty good. And it's because you get to see him like in that hotel and like what happens when you play it. You have a coin in the hotel and it's a cool like mythology.
I think they tipped it though. I think the fucking train tipped in the second one. The first one I was completely blown away by it.
Right.
The second I'm like, is the entire world like this now?
That's true. It goes a little far.
I like the fact that it was this society that you don't quite see if you're not focused on it, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It was almost like, you know, it's like if you're a fucking person, you didn't know, like if you're middle age, you're like, oh, I didn't know there was a fucking crack epidemic. You know what I mean? But if you're just like 5 years or younger, you're like, crack is everywhere. Like when you're addicted to any drug, you think everybody is doing it. Like there's people now going, you can't go anywhere without bumping into Oxycontin. and I never see it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I'm sure people in this building, there's people in this building who know where to get OxyContin in this building.
There's probably people in this room.
Yeah.
Chris, you're out of your pill years though, aren't you?
Yeah, and people they're moving past pills into fentanyl patches, or as they call it, fence.
Did you ever put a patch on?
I've never done it, no. Yeah. But either you slap the patch on, it's time release and get you all fucked up. Or people pop it into gel.
Yeah.
They pop it out the gel and chew on it or cook it.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. I haven't even seen one in real life. I just fucking hear
in real life.
It's weird. It's
you can just left it as I haven't seen one. You didn't have to bring it up in this reality that we're all living in.
You mean IRL? You haven't seen it?
No. They haven't made the movie about it yet either.
Yeah.
But it's in production. Chris Manley.
Great.
That actually wouldn't be a bad idea for you to write one up, Chris.
Jermaine Lucier's in studio.
What is that? Why is he plugging?
G-Baby's entertainment reporter for Gizmodo and IO9 on Twitter at Jermaine Lucier.
You still live in L.A., huh?
I love it, yeah. But we're, now that we're married, we're starting to think about like a house. And that's when I don't love LA.
Right.
Because we live in like a, moderately priced apartment compared to especially New York. And then the house across the street, which is maybe the size of this studio, is like $800,000. And you're like, oh my God. Like where we have to move. I like living right in the center so I can get to things, This way I get around the traffic.
Then continue to do that then.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
Continue to do it until you're like, we have to find a good school.
Yeah.
And by the way, you don't need to find a good school until they're 4. You know what I mean?
got a while.
You got,
some time, yeah.
A lot of people are just like, but the baby needs its own room. Not necessarily. Not for the first couple years. You can put that crib right there.
We do have a 2-bedroom now, and the one's the office. The office can go away. The office can go away.
The office can have a crib in it.
Exactly. I don't need it.
You're just going to watch movies with this kid anyway. You don't need a lot of space.
I think about that all the time, even though, we that's not in the cards immediately. But it's like, what do I, how do I teach them how to behave in a movie theater? What do I start them on? And I have always these thoughts about it. It's going to be,
go to matinees.
Yes.
That's always the smartest idea.
Yeah.
And you just take them along.
Yeah.
Gail started seeing movies when she was an infant.
Do you remember what your first movie was?
No, for that reason. I don't remember a time that I didn't go to the movies. So I don't have that oh my gosh, this is the first time I stepped in. It was almost just that's just a thing of life.
Well, I was doing morning radio, so literally I could go to matinees when other people were at work and just let her run up and down because there wouldn't be anybody but me and her in the theater.
Cool. My first memory is seeing, of anything, is seeing The Last Starfighter, in a theater, in a drive-in, which was in 84 or something like that. By the way, a highly underrated movie.
I'm gonna have fucking agree.
It's fucking awesome movie. I've seen it so many times. I
saw it on the big screen like a month ago. It was the best. And it's a movie that was way ahead of its time. And obviously, if they remade it now, it would make perfect sense about a video game recruiting somebody.
Yeah.
But the rights are all messed up. Even Spielberg and Seth Rogen and all these other people have inquired about it, but they don't know who owns the rights, or the person who does won't sell them. So that movie just is this nice, perfect little movie that exists as it is.
What was this other Spielberg film that he's got coming out?
Oh, Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite books because it's the guy who wrote it is basically me. It's just a bunch of crazy, pop culture references.
You with ambition.
Yes.
And drive.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little worried about it just because, not because of Spielberg or not because the source material, but I saw an early version of the script and as a fan of the book, I did not like it. I did not like the adaptation, and I was like, but that was before Spielberg came on. And I was like, oh, well, Spielberg's going to fix it. And then the first trailer had the scene that I hated the most in the script. I'm like, oh no. So we'll see. I think it's a really fun idea, and I think there's a lot of really cool possibilities in it. And I guess it's Steven Spielberg, so you're like, oh, I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. But
sure.
I don't know. I don't know
the last time I gave him the benefit of the doubt, though. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I think that he let them talk him out of being Spielberg. I think that he let people go, it's time for him to grow as an artist. And, well,
all his best, everything that was great about him was this big thing is happening, but you keep it really tight. You know what I mean? Like you're watching the reaction of one person, a child, usually. Like that kind of stuff was great, but then when it went into that like saccharine kind of Oscar kind of style movie.
Yeah, I mean, he, like I said, he tried to grow up, and like even what did he win the Oscar for?
Schindler's List.
Okay,
yeah,
Schindler's List. A lot of people could have made Schindler's List. Nobody could have made Close Encounters but him. Nobody could have made.
Right.
Yeah.
And even now, there's a generation of people that try to get their Spielberg on, and you know, it's always sweet because you're like, oh, that's like Spielberg. It doesn't come close, and it's not as far as out of fucking left field,
right?
As that dude.
I mean, that was really, I think, what everyone was. It was so familiar about Stranger Things was like all those like little early kind of Spielberg references that you're like, something about this feels kind of tingly, and you're like, it was playing on that.
Yeah, they pitched that as a Stephen King novel directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah,
which is exactly what
totally
it is.
what it feels like.
Yeah.
So I saw that Scorsese might be involved with this Joker's origin story. By the way, you know what I hate? Origin stories. I never liked them.
There's so many things about that. I like I said, that news broke like sort of after I finished my shift yesterday, and I sort of just been tangential about it, but. Yeah, but there's so many things about it that worry me. Well, first of all, give Martin Scorsese a paycheck. If he wants to do that, that's fine. His name can only help it, I think. Right. You know? But they said they want to, it's going to be not Jared Leto, it's going to be a younger Joker. It's not going to be part of the DC universe that they're like creating with Justice League and Batman. It's just a whole other movie. And I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing? It's just like, oh man, I mean, the phone just started ringing to start talking about DC movies.
I don't know why people like the Joker before he became the Joker. It's just the fucking Joker.
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry, Dale, go ahead.
Like, with any good story, they tell you to take place when the action begins, or like, you have to kind of figure out like, oh, why did this thing happen? But you're already like in the thick of it. Like that, like anytime, you know, you're thinking about learning how to write a novel, across the board, you start in the story. You don't start before the story. So that's probably what you really hate about origin stories is like, it's because it's before the crazy shit happens.
Well, you know, even in a bio, you know, I know you read a lot of show business bio.
Yeah.
Get out of, please don't make me grow up with you in Indiana.
Right.
Get to when you started Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
It should be half a chapter at best.
Yeah.
Where you're
there's no better way to demystify a great character than to find out where they came from.
Right.
You know, like, that's why like Spider-Man 2 is better than the first one, because he's finally getting to be it. And one of the reasons that I hate, the Rob Zombie remakes of Halloween is because it explained Michael Myers. And it's like, I don't need, he's a kid, he's messed up, right? Perfect, I got it. Like, that's all you need, you know? And the Joker is like, it was big news this week that a comic book was actually giving him a name. Like, because he's never had a name except for like in the Tim Burton Batman movie. Which again is good, but like, it's pretty quick with the origin, you know? And, right, you don't want to feel sorry for the Joker because he was molested.
Right. You know, and I think that's where the Star Wars prequels probably got into some storytelling trouble. He's like, oh, that little boy grew up to be sad.
Yeah, we want to hate him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you knew where it was going the whole time, you know? Even if you don't know the journey to get there, if you know the end game, who cares?
I know you're flying back today, right?
Yeah, flight's at 4:00. So,
well, it was great seeing you.
Oh man, absolutely.
Do this every time you're back.
I try to. I want to. We come in and out so fast sometimes that today it worked out with Chris, and he was answering emails and everything. So congratulations. There you go.
The new Chris
Texting,
Stanley.
it was great.
Texting, emailing. Jermaine Lacier's been in studio. G-Baby's the entertainment reporter for Gizmodo and IO9 on Twitter at Jermaine Lacier.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks so
Good
much.
to see you. Take care. It's the Bennington Show. And we're throwing a party for our interns, our summer interns. What a year they've had.
I mean, I don't know if this is a little presumptuous, but best class ever, maybe?
By far.
This is our best intern class.
So much better than the shitty Vito years and the Chris Stanley years.
Oh, 100%. I mean, these kids have potential.
Yes, they're going to go places. All of the food came from really one of the great places I've ever eaten chicken parm. And Vito told me they got a place on the Upper West Side. I didn't even know. You're in charge of all the food here today.
Yeah, so parm on the Upper West Side, they just opened up one over on Columbus, and they hooked us up with some great food, some mini sandwiches. We ordered some chicken parm heroes and 2 eggplant heroes.
Nice.
We have to. We have a vegan. Now, Chris, you went in the other room to eat so you could eat a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I'm greedy. I mean, all these half sandwiches are delicious.
They really are. I've never seen anybody do this before, and it's a stunning idea. But this parm sandwich has long been one of my favorite. Now, since I'm not sleeping at night, this will be a sleeping pill for me. And I will go to sleep the last part of the show today.
Like, somehow I'm already getting sleepy. I'm a couple bites in, and you warned me, like, this is sleepy food, just so you know.
All right, to our interns who look like they're just digging in. After your year here, do you feel more like you might have a career in radio or less like you would want a career in radio? Justin, you can go first.
Yeah, definitely more.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You show zero talent.
Yeah, no, I'm keeping myself in good company, and I'm learning a lot. And this has been the experience of a lifetime.
Who has been your mentor the most?
It's a tough call between Vito and you yourself.
Fucked up to me and Chris.
No, just Chris. Chris is supposed to be the mentor. I'm not. I'm supposed to be somebody you don't even get close to. Like, shh, Mr. Bennington's coming. Will you come down and hang out at the stand?
Yeah,
too, which is great.
Yeah, I learned so much just being out there, talking to all the comedians, talking to you, and it's been a real eye-opening summer, and it's been so much fun.
That's good. Spencer, I know you've done 2 internships what was the other one in this year?
The other one was in Momentum, which is an advertising agency.
Yeah, and that was fun?
It was great, yeah. By the way, we lost the pitch.
No!
Oh, come on. The office in Chicago won the pitch.
Jesus, what did they come up with?
I don't know, to be honest, but, we all had to come up with a solution to improve Mazda's retention rates.
Yeah. And what was your solution?
Our
Just
solution was,
by gun?
Well, we started like a mobile concert idea at the South by Southwest venue concerts where people can get into cars and, and they can do mobble concerts and stuff like that. But
why is it young people's idea is always a concert? What if we did a concert somewhere?
Yeah, it's just like, let's just have some music and just like everyone get together live.
We can do poppers and just have a good time.
Have fun with it, Just have a good time. Well,
now, did you get closer or further away from radio this year? Because you got a radio voice this year, not most.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try and do the radio show at UConn.
Wow.
I might look at their radio station.
That's awesome.
So if needed, I'll ask Vito for a reference.
Yeah.
Vito's my man. He's been behind all this. Me and Justin. He's been our supervisor.
Stanley, seriously, you're a failure as a person.
I would say Chris has been busy though. That's why.
Yeah.
I would say he's like the executive producer of the show.
Right.
Kind of. You'd say it, but it's not necessarily
He's
true.
been busy with nose candy. Man, this parm is great.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I think of all the terrible parties that Chris put together, and then you throw something like this.
I know, like really special and like perfect, and everything was like ready and like.
It was a surprisingly dark day for me. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect the interns turn on me. Vito pulls this off.
They were never on your side.
They don't. Yeah, they haven't turned on you. You gave them nothing, and Vito gives everything.
Did you ever have a touch to lose, man?
I wish my birthday party would have been as good as this party. This is fucked up.
Nobody cares about your birthday.
I forgot what happened on your birthday.
He handed me a bottle of fucking Jameson and just threw some sandwiches at me.
Looks like someone trying to take him down because he's having a big win.
Yeah. And after your big win last night, you're Mr. Aggressive, Mr. Grabbing this thing by the ankles. You're fantastic.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoy your sandwiches. Interns, I hope you're having a great last day. I love you guys. I'm going to miss you.
I can't say that to interns.
Chris, would you like to learn their names before they leave?
Well, there's Gary and Jeff.
You've had zero impact on their life.
That's so sad.
This really hurts. This hurts me.
The interns have written a song for Chris called Whom It May Concern with Love.
Chris Stanley, guys. That's
bum, 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 bum. We never met. We only saw Vito. You must feel good about yourself. Taking these guys under your wing like this.
I do pride myself on my relationship with my interns.
Good. Now, you will see if you can write up something nice for him for the Yukon.
Yeah, I've done that.
What kind of radio show would you like to do?
It depends what they have.
Right.
I can always try, campus talk about sports updates.
I like sports.
I can try that.
You're kind of a sports guy, right?
Yep.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
It's hard to say, but during the preseason, the Giants are falling behind thanks to Geno Smith.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Eli.
Yeah. Well, he's got 2 rings, which...
Well, yeah, true,
right.
but
you know what? He thinks that Peyton gave that to him. And
Peyton gave it to him?
Yeah, he's saying these are Peyton's rings. And I had to tell him, no, Eli, those are your rings.
Peyton just gets in his ear.
Speaking of the Eli brothers, Eli has a third brother, Cooper.
Yes. Well, see, this would be good on your show.
He was supposed to play football, but I think when he was in high school or college, I think he injured himself bad, which prevented him from playing football.
This could be a good first show for you.
Let's see.
Little known things about the Manning family.
Yep.
Once again, I get behind whoever has Hard Knocks. And I'm just hoping the Bucks pull it off this year. I mean, they want it so much. And it's so hot when they're training, you know?
God, yeah. I mean, Winston seems like he's really on it.
He's a fucking maniac.
I know.
Did you see last night?
I didn't see last night, but
he just does these long Muhammad Ali speeches and rhymes.
He's great.
But he has a buzzer that wakes him up in the morning, give him positive, you can do it.
Like affirmations that they yell?
But it's him.
What?
He's taped his own affirmations, and he just wakes up to him yelling, "Today's the day you gotta go for it. You ate a trash can. You never want to go back to that again."
That's Kate Powers shit. That's what he did in the show. Just listen to his own audiobook.
That's amazing. You're right.
But not even first thing in the morning. Like Daddy was at least up and high. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm gonna miss these interns.
I like
They were the best.
These are great ones.
Would it be crazy if we'd all go out after the show today and get the same tattoo?
Oh, that would be great. Just like a summer...
Summer of 17.
I like
I'm
it.
down.
I would definitely do it. I'm in.
But I want us all to get it on our foreheads. And get it backwards so when you're looking in the mirror, you know what I mean? You can remember this great summer
I almost
we had.
forgot, but then thank God I looked in the mirror.
I forgot all about those guys. It's right there on my forehead. Chris, will you and your fiance be getting matching tattoos?
I don't believe so. Well, it's not planned. I'll just say that. We're not planning on it, but anything can happen. Maybe we can both get maps of Costa Rica.
Dude, that would be great for you in case you got to find her house. Like a little thing for her house.
You are here.
Or like you get Costa Rica and she just gets Astoria.
That'd be amazing.
What are you going to get her for Christmas? Some papaya? Fresh papaya?
And then just hold it up and go, home. Home.
Bag of rice.
Thanks so much, man. I love papaya.
Doesn't sound like
This is crazy, man. There's so much papaya here.
I could put this in my lowrider, right?
She doesn't have a car.
Sure, this is my muchacho.
That's sad. My muchacho. Hey, muchacho. Can't believe we're going to Paris, man.
This is crazy, man.
Isn't she on a
Give me some escargot.
Oh, Spencer got you on that one.
You don't talk about her.
That's what he said.
Holy shit. Spencer's killing it today.
Burger Bites back.
I like that.
Whoa,
dude.
that's cool. It's also,
that could be the name of your show.
That's a perfect name for your show. Because at first I thought maybe like manning the ship if it was just going to be all manning stuff. But now I like it.
Seriously, no, let's not throw manning the ship out. I mean, at best we make that into a segment. You know what I mean? And it's time for manning the ship.
Oh.
These are Peyton's. No, they're not, Eli. Those are yours. You won them from Peyton.
Or for Cooper.
Chris.
Great one, Spencer.
He got you.
He's basically saying you're Chris Cooper, the Oscar winner.
I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, he got him.
Sounds like an idiot.
Hey, man, you better learn him that. You gotta cut him, man. If you want to be with me.
You're gonna let him call you Chris Cooper?
Not from fucking L.A.
He sounds just like, that sounds just like your chick.
What does it?
I love you too, S.A.
She's never called me S.A.
You sound like my cousin's father who grew up in Israel.
Where'd it come from?
So, that's kind of how he talks.
Yeah, it is.
Israeli accent.
It's Israeli.
She's not a Jew.
Hey, man, Israel's great.
His name is Roby.
Roby, man. And we're gonna miss Spencer
so much.
I'm so proud of you for pulling off this party, man. It's not like
It's
that.
a great party.
You know, when I think of how many terrible parties Chris put together.
Oh, so many. I mean, I don't even know if we could call them parties.
No. More like small gatherings.
Just work, really.
More like natural disasters.
And to see just the bond between Vito and this intern class is so great. I mean, when Spencer was ripping on Chris like that, Vito was just giving them the head nod. Yes, my son. Yes.
Keep going, killer.
Fly, my pretties, fly.
Let the hate flow through you.
Remember, anybody who fucks with Grease has to go through me. Arriba!
God damn it.
What's the wrestler that used to yell Arriba?
I don't know. Like probably 90s gimmick.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
They the Matador.
Yeah.
Tino Santana.
Yeah,
The
Arriba! Everyone just stared at him. Nothing popped for it.
Wait. Oh,
Yeah.
you said Matador?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of the Golden Door. My bad.
Oh, Chris.
Come on,
You look like an idiot, Chris.
You know why I love the Matador?
You idiot,
My
Chris.
big piss. That's my favorite fucking wrestler.
Oh.
I had a Matador fucking t-shirt, action figure. Fucking amazing. You guys chill over him?
All right, relax,
Oh,
dude.
jeez.
Chill out.
It hit a little close
You
to
can
home,
take a
Ron.
little joke.
Eat the rest of your Vito sandwich.
It's gone. The Vito sandwich is inside
Here,
of me.
you want another one?
I'll take some more.
Yeah.
You want another half?
I'll take a half. Or a full, whatever.
Save a little fucking room for what is it, Beard Papas?
Oh, nice.
Another Upper West Side location.
Wow.
What is it called?
What's the name
Beard
of it?
Papa.
Beard Papa.
Oh.
I always call it Eat Papas, but that's from the fucking Rudolph movie. I go, let's get some fucking treats from that Rudolph movie place.
Eat, Papa, eat.
I love that scene. He's just a pissed off, shitty fucking... I remember being a little kid going like, Santa Claus is a fucking dick, man.
Yeah.
Treats Rudolph like shit.
It's really moody.
Yeah. Like, and really, by the end of it, now you want to fucking come around and ask for this fucking year to help you?
Yeah, it's kind of shitty.
It's a big favor, too.
Yeah, it's the biggest. It's a dangerous fucking thing. Flying through the fog.
Lead the pack?
No, it's too much because you make one mistake and you got all those fucking deer just running into your asshole.
And he has no experience either. He's never
Zero experience.
You think Donner could do that shit?
It's like a fucking kid just gets his learner's permit and you're like, oh, by the way, you're running fucking Daytona this weekend. You're like, what?
I can't.
Daytona? Oh, fuck. I don't know, man.
I've never even gotten above 55.
Yeah, and then he's coming around, there's his fucking crew. Bounce! Bounce! And I'm just like, let me fucking focus on driving right now.
wouldn't even let me play around last week.
Remember all your reindeer games?
Yeah, you acted like I was a piece of fucking garbage. I'm fucking making time with some fucking hot chick. She really was hot. No one ever fucking brings it up.
She was really...
If you had to have sex with a deer.
Yeah.
You saying no?
Come on, that's bestiality talk.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, man.
Oh my god.
Hey, I'll tell you, it was a beast. Right, man? Chris Stanley.
He's fucking loco, man.
He fucking goes beast mode on me.
He goes beast mode on me.
Look at her.
Oh, yeah.
Spencer, look at her.
Come on, Spencer.
What was her name?
Clarice.
Yeah.
Get some.
Oh my god, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah.
Was it really Clarice?
Yeah, that's what it says. It says Clarice.
Oh.
That's Rudolph getting a hard on.
She thinks I'm cute.
That's scary close. What are you going to do, right? I think all the voiceover actors are dead now from that day.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it is. That's terrible. Now what are you going to do?
What about the doll?
What was her name?
Lucy.
Oh, yeah, she was a doll that instead of peeing, she shit.
Mm-hmm.
She was a shit.
Definitely.
Little shit herself.
100%.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Then she would turn around and pick it up. Nobody wants a doll that picks up their own shit.
I was made this way.
Hold on. Somebody else who came through and sent some nice gifts today for Intern Day. It's Janice from Chicago. Janice!
Yes!
I just wanted to give Spencer another Manning story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, perfect.
What's up?
I believe San Diego was the team to first pick Eli.
That's right.
And Archie stepped in and got him to the Giants. And when the Giants were playing San Diego, somebody had a big sign that said, Eli, no one likes you anyway.
Oh my god.
That was hilarious.
Snap.
Use that for manning the ship.
Wow. That was like 2004 or something.
All right. Here's a little manning the ship trivia.
Mm-hmm.
Eli, Cooper, and Archie all went to this college, but Peyton went to another college.
Oh.
Bum, 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 manning the ship. Do you know the manning trivia? Spencer?
Oh, I know where they went to. He went to Ole Miss like Mike Orr.
Manning the ship. But what about Peyton?
I thought you said Peyton and Eli went to the same college.
No, Peyton is the only one in the family who did not go to Archie's college. Because he did not want to follow in Archie's footsteps.
That I don't know.
Tennessee.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Manning the ship. First winner. What does she win?
Whatever she wants.
Whoa!
She gets.
Pretty good prize closet.
Yeah! Ladies' choice.
Yeah.
Every day I get to listen to you guys.
Damn it, Janice, that's so sweet.
Well, pretty soon you'll be listening to Spencer's new show on Yukon Radio, Manning the Ship.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I hope so. All right, we really are going to give you a prize right now, darling. Something nice, Chris.
I'll take care of Janet.
Something she likes.
I'll give her something nice.
Something rocking.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm going to rock with her.
All right, talk to you later, darling.
I love you guys.
Love you, Janice.
She's so great. We got some nice desserts over there, too, for Maureen.
Nice. Yes, Maureen always bakes for us.
So thin. And how do you bake like that and get that thin?
I don't understand it. She looks phenomenal.
She was wearing fringe.
So good. I know. She
love
looks
fringe.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of fringe. I have a black fringe dress that's like a go-to party.
You know, you should only wear fringe from this point on.
Yeah, you need like a nice fringe jacket.
Or even fringe pants, and you yell car wash and you just stand over there.
It's a car wash, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll get a fringe shirt. I'll get a nice little fringe number. Yeah.
So, you're back to school, huh, Spencer?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. UConn going to do well in basketball this year? Or?
Who knows? But women's, they might have 0 losses.
Remember that nightmare last year?
Oh my God!
Worst night of your life?
Pretty much. Well, for any student.
Yeah.
The women's team, it was a big upset for the women's.
Yeah.
I forgot who they were playing that night. I believe
it was Tennessee. To take
it could have been Tennessee, but
take his full.
They might. I think they only had 2 losses then.
It was actually the second worst night of my life.
Really? What was the first?
9/11.
Okay, so that makes sense. I walked right into that.
9/11. Terrible night. You know, Chris slept through it.
What?
Yeah, he was drunk and slept through it.
Yeah, I woke up.
What time did you
5:36.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I was fucked up. I was fucking whacked.
You were in college at the time?
I was all pilled. I was like eating a lot of Xanax back then and drinking a lot of malt liquor. And smoking a lot of blunts. So I was real fucked up. I passed out, woke up at fucking 6 o'clock.
Started calling his buddies like, we got to do something tonight.
Oh my God, that's uncomfortable.
He had a friend that said to him, he goes, Chris, it's 9/11.
Like even at that many hours in, we were already calling it that.
Yeah. We were calling it 9/11 right off the bat.
I mean, we already came up with the never forget. You couldn't even remember it first thing.
I was like,
he blacked out. That's why he did forget.
I know what the date is. Let's fucking see what's going on tonight, bro. Come on.
I can't believe you have no memory of it. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, but it is what happened, so I got to own it. You don't like talking about it. But I didn't know what was going to happen. I was fucking having a good time at 9/10.
No one did. I mean, we're not to blame.
We all enjoyed 9/10.
I had a great 9/10.
Yeah.
I was in college.
Actually remember 9/10.
I was in kindergarten when that happened. I barely knew much.
Aww.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, you were still working on your alphabet. Struggling with that.
Yeah, I was 5.
I remember one time in kindergarten, I said to the kid next to me, hey, what comes after C? No, what comes after C? Like, 7? We weren't a smart class. Mom always said that the alphabet. That's how I was as a kid. Did you ever cheat off people when you were in school?
Oh, fuck yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Cheated, always. Yeah, like all through school.
I will tell you this.
See a big problem with it.
This is the thing I'm most proud of is in terms of my honesty. No kid ever cheated off of me. Unless he wanted to flunk. Am I right, Vino?
Like, all I can see from here is Bennington's paper. Forget it. Don't even bother.
I don't want to go to summer school. Spencer, you ever cheat off anybody?
Academic-wise, social-wise? Barely.
First academic and then social.
Yeah, first, I mean, academically, I just looked off someone's test sheet and then they just covered it. And then, like, I was getting my sketched out. I was like, I hope he doesn't rat me out.
Nerd alert, right? I mean, come on, don't cover your paper.
Somebody want to punch in the back?
Doesn't take away from your grade.
No, I know it doesn't.
It's like it doesn't affect you.
The folder tent that kids would do.
That was, screw those kids with the folder
I hate
tent.
those kids.
Usually folders are something good, not something evil like that.
I would get mad if someone. I would get mad if someone didn't cheat properly. Like if it was obvious to me, I'd be like, "Dude, you're slipping, man! Like, get your shit together."
Show it off.
Show some fake work or something.
Yeah, get a lot of fake work. Don't get one of them right either. They'll know we're cheating.
Oh yeah, that was for sure like one of those things where you're like, well, I don't want to entirely get everything right. That's suspicious. That's totally suspicious.
I used to say to those kids, you know, some kids are smart at other stuff like punching. I know exactly where the liver is, my friend.
And I also thought, I mean, even when I was young, I just thought, if you're smart enough to figure out how to cheat on something, isn't that a show of intelligence? Like, I just kind of thought, like, oh, I figured my way around this.
I
have a problem.
Yeah.
I have a problem. I don't know the answer to this question. How can I get the right answer? That's smart.
Now, socially, what did you cheat on?
I didn't cheat on anybody socially.
Never, huh?
Never.
Once you're committed, you're committed.
Yep.
Good.
Never been that way. I understand some people are. Mormons, they call them.
But I have third wheeled on a girl who I had a crush on though, but
how'd you third wheel on her?
I was just close to them because I was jealous.
Yeah.
And so they were a couple?
Well, they were my age who I went to school with, but then I just went away.
Right, but at first, like, they were a couple and you started to be a third wheel?
You would be like, yeah, I'll come to the mall with you guys, like that kind of stuff.
Stuff like that, yeah. That was like once, that was it.
Mm. You ever see them anymore?
Nope.
They still together, you think?
No.
Still hurt?
Doesn't matter. It was back then, put all of it aside.
Yeah, I mean, you're a college man now.
Yeah. And I got a higher chance.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those ladies.
Yeah, their minds out there.
Yukon girls? Huskies?
Yes, sir.
Yukon do it!
Does everyone say that there? Yukon do it?
No.
Oh.
Yukon Huskies, Huskies, Yukon Wolf.
Yeah, but what if, like, you go to the game and you go, Yukon do it?
Something like that.
Maybe you could get that started.
Maybe I could.
Try it.
I could try it. I could talk to people in the athletic department.
Yeah. Third wheel.
Maybe.
Yeah. Totally.
Chris, you ever been a third wheel?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been a third wheel on when I was after my breakup. I was a third wheel.
With who?
Mark Zito and his wife.
Aww. But then you wanted to be with his wife?
No, I didn't want to be with his
That
wife.
was
You wanted to be with
context to
Zito.
this thing.
Yeah, I
wanted to be with Zito.
I just wanted to take Zito
away from her.
Now, he won't even return calls to any of those people.
That's really hurtful.
Yeah, I'm like, peace out. I'm in Brooklyn, bro.
And it's just like them. Why don't you sidebar those nerds? Have another papaya and tequila.
Sounds pretty good. Pour some tequila in the papaya juice.
Last night she cooked some cactus.
Oh, nice. Any sides with that? Or
just a big pile of cactus. Just boiled cactus.
I'm loving this party.
No, it's a really solid party.
Glad you guys are enjoying it.
And of course I love the big sandwich. Little sandwich kind of stole the show.
Yeah.
Little sandwich made a big impact here today. Came in strong.
Pound for pound.
Oh, we got a dish.
We do. We have to do dish. Let's bring in our dish.
Here comes a big dish of dish.
What a weirdo.
Put on your headphones, Jen's got the news. Let's dish to the gossip they're saying on the radio.
So the Let's Dish segment is brought to you by Dish. Dish listens when no one else does. Dish tuned into you. To learn more and sign up today, call 1-844-CALL-DISH. Go to dish.com or visit a local retailer near you.
I'm gone though.
Oh.
Nice billboard. What's the big dish story?
So today's big dish is from last night's episode of America's Got Talent. Mm-hmm. There was a big juice that happened with Mel B, the Spice Girl, the old Spice Girl, and Simon Cowell. They had a contestant come on stage, and Simon made like a rude remark referring to Mel B's divorce.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why did that come up?
And it was
this one got divorced. Can't even keep a man.
He said, I kind of think it will be like Mel B's wedding night. A lot of anticipation, not much promise.
Oh my God.
Because I guess it was like a magician that came on stage, and it didn't work out or something, like something malfunctioned.
Well, at
and
least
then
Mel B took it well and didn't take it that personally.
No, she took it pretty personally. She made the surprise face, got up, threw water on him, and then walked out and never came back. Mm-hmm. And they were live tweeting from the America's Got Talent's Twitter, and they were like, "Yeah, Mel B has officially left the building." Like it was a big.
How does this make you feel right now? I'm kind of imagining this would be like Mel B's wedding night. A lot of
That came out of nowhere.
Not much promise or delivery.
Well, first of all, his was a planned line.
Right.
You know? Now, you think work or shoot?
I at first was thinking, oh, okay, maybe this is a work. But I think that expression on her face was that thing where it's like, maybe I'll be playful about this. But then after she threw the water, like, I think she picked up the water and like, I'm going to make a thing of this. But then I could see her face start to change. And as she walked away, I think she was like, wait, that really did
By the
upset
way,
me.
though, this goes to show that thing. Can you imagine if he did that to her? If a man got up and just chucked water all over her, like, you pig! Well, first of all, you got divorced. It's fucking ballpark.
Well, she's still going through like a messy divorce with her.
If anybody did that about me, Chris, man.
They don't call her Scary for nothing.
She's Scary Spice?
She's Scary Spice.
I just found this out now.
Yeah. She's the scary one.
I literally thought to myself, I haven't seen Scary Spice in 20 years. I didn't know it was Mel B. Did she ever get together with Beckham Spice? I think
Posh, yes.
Yeah. I'm Beckham Spice, the soccer girl. I'm Sporty, the gay one.
You think Sporty was just like, how did she end up with Bex? That was my gimmick.
Jocks don't date jocks.
It's true. They're like, Sporty, I think of you as one of the guys. Like,
oh, isn't there like a nude pic thing of like two sports stars that were together that got leaked?
Tiger Woods and his wife, or ex-wife.
Wait, that's not his ex-wife, you idiot, is it?
No, Lindsey Vonn. I think it's.
Yeah, it's Lindsey Vonn, not his ex-wife.
They look alike. They're like tall blondes.
You're a racist.
He has a type.
No.
I'm going to throw water against the window. Spencer, what do you think?
I would say it does look like Lindsey Vonn.
Yeah, Lindsey Vonn looks just like Lindsey Vonn.
So true.
All right, next dish.
Well, the Mayweather-McGregor fight is coming up. And Mayweather, last year, he brought out Bieber. They're good friends. Well, now they're saying that Mayweather and Bieber are beefing.
Why?
Oh, no.
And they're saying it's because Bieber is trying to change his life.
To what? Being untalented?
No, he canceled his tour. He's trying to turn to God. He's going to Hillsong Church. And, the people around him at the Hillsong Church are telling him, you have to cancel these bad people in your life. And obviously Mayweather's one of them because he goes to strip clubs all the time.
He's an SP.
But I will say this. A lot of people are religious and also do their work. You know what I mean? They don't go, I'm going to the church now, so I'm not working anymore.
My church told me to quit. I work for God now.
I work for church.
It doesn't pay well is the problem. So I don't know how I'll buy goods and services.
I'm walking around with this basket to see if you'll help give me money. When I was a kid, I always wanted that because it had the long stick. Mm-hmm. I'm like, God, I would love to fucking be the long stick guy.
Do you remember also being a kid and like you're like someone in your family gives you the money to put in and you're just like, can't wait for that long stick to come around, and I'll be the one you dunk it in there and like look at your mom like, I did it.
Yeah.
So don't worry about where that money went. Right in the basket as we all prepared.
It's there.
Hey, you think they'll bring that long stick back?
They were saying, now this Mayweather fight, and I think he's fighting Scary Spice, if I'm not wrong. I'm not exactly sure. That's Mel B. 89% of the money is bet on McGregor because he's a long shot. And this means that if this guy has an upset victory, it'll be the biggest loss in Las Vegas history.
Wow, that's insane.
I'm going to hit the power number tonight and then push all that money in on McGregor. I make some real money myself.
Stupid $700 million. It's garbage.
Do any of you drunks think that McGregor can win this fight?
No, it's fucking Mayweather is too fucking good. He's the best defensive boxer of all time.
The only chance I think he has of winning it all is if he just goes in like guns blazing, not really giving a shit, and Mayweather just
first of all,
knocked the fuck out.
That's never worked for anyone. That's why boxing is a sport, and now you just like unleash two crazy people on each other.
I'm just saying that's his only chance of winning, just catching him completely off guard.
Yes, that would be true of anyone fighting anyone.
Or if he brings a gun in the ring, that could work for him.
Not the rule.
But the fact that, I mean, as dumb as my staff is, not one of them is even picking. And they said that this thing is also a sign. I was watching this on, pardon the interruption last night, of racism, of just great white hope thing.
Yeah.
It was, I hope the white guy beats the black guy.
Yeah.
It's good to know we're still in that.
And we can't get, I hope that white guy beats the black guy. That would be
he's so white, which I like that about him.
Would it be terrible if there was an upset? White people just went running. Yeah, fuck you.
Finally, one for us.
I feel so good to be Caucasian today. Who are you picking, Spencer? McGregor or Mayweather?
I would pick McGregor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Finally.
All right. He is the alt-right champion. How about Vito? Just to say he goes there going crazy. Like a little brother fighting his big brother. You motherfucker! Fucking I guess that is the way I used to fight my brother, by laying on my back and kicking. Fucker! More dish. More dish for Madala.
Well, Katy Perry, she's one of the judges for American Idol, and she was told, they're saying, that she should not hog the limelight like Mariah Carey. So she has been warned to not be super diva.
She's already hogging the paycheck, so nobody else wants to join. The only person that he said he would work for the money they're offering, Hasselhoff. And guess who cock blocked?
Oh.
Katy Perry.
Really?
She goes, we're trying to do something real here. Not save swimmers off the coast.
I still have a career.
Do you think that this show is going to make it? Do you think it hasn't gone away long enough for there to be any kind of nostalgia about it? You know, the same problems it had before it has now. And they said Fox is going to throw some kind of shows at it immediately. I mean, like you'll be able to see another music show at the same time.
Yeah, but like how long has it been off the air? 2 years?
Something like that.
I mean, it's insane.
I'd rather they brought back American Bandstand.
I think the only thing they're changing is like now you can play
turnaround.
We didn't have that.
Oh my God, I didn't know you'd be fat. Can I turn back around?
Oh my God, I'm crying. I did not realize a fat person could have talent. This is amazing. It's always that or, you're so old.
Yeah, you're so old and ugly, but somehow we'll make this work.
I didn't know an oldie like you could do this.
You're missing a limb. Oh God, and I turned around. God damn it. There's someone missing a front tooth.
Is there a reverse on this?
So what are we saying? Let's just go. Will it be a hit? Miss.
Uh-huh.
Anybody predicting hit?
Katy Perry. Hit.
I don't know if the judge is enough.
Ryan Seacrest.
Look, the three judges that they start with, none of them were popular at the time. And they're definitely more popular than any of the big stars that have ever followed.
That's true. I mean, they made stars of them. I mean, did Simon Cowell have something to do with the creation of that show? Or he was just like...
He was there when it was created, but he wasn't a creator.
So then he just got to continue to have a career in that because they're like, it worked. He did well on that show.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of these type of shows. Both here and Angolan.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's got the golden ear, even though no one becomes a star. All right, more dish.
Well, Richard Simmons, he's suing the National Enquirer in a defamation lawsuit because they said that when he skips out, was out of the limelight, it was because he had a sex change. And
I remember that.
Yeah, well, he's saying that is absolutely not true. He fully supports transgender individuals and their struggle to achieve acceptance and equality, but what the National Enquirer said is false and fabricated claims that I was contemplating castration and have had a boob job, and it has caused him extreme embarrassment.
Yeah, but if you're so supportive of them, why would it be embarrassing? Like, if I can't say that I'm pro-gay, then if somebody said I'm gay, I go, that's the fucking worst thing you can say, and you just ruined my life. You know what I mean? You could just you would go like this. I happen not to be gay, but kind of wish I was. You know what I mean? You can't do that.
I would like to sue Chris Stanley for having reported it to me as fact, and then
you did.
He said it to me. I'm like, it was the world's weirdest thing. I meet him downstairs. You're not there yet. And he's just like, did you hear the news? And then it's like, what news? And he's like, can't believe nobody's brought this up for today's show yet. So thank God I fucking checked the news. I was like, well, what is it? He's like, Richard Simmons castrated. That's what he said at first. He just goes, Richard Simmons castrated. And I go, someone cut Richard Simmons' dick off? And he's like, he did, dude. He's a woman now. And I'm like, all right, that was a weird way to set it up, but I've heard nothing of this.
By the way.
Yep. And then I Googled it and immediately went, yeah, everyone's saying this is fake.
By the way, if you do get castrated, Chris, it doesn't make you a woman. Just so you know. Like you had some kind of terrible, your fucking cock and balls got stuck in a gear.
Castrated
pulled up. Oh my God, my friend Chris is a woman after a bad accident. The
so sad. He didn't want to be a woman. He just is now.
I don't think he's got a case. I don't think you can make the case that has hurt him in any way. Because it's not like he was doing anything, he wasn't running a business that people stopped going to. I think he's got zero case. I think he should have just said, look, I'm not a woman, and then went on with his life.
Yeah, you're right. He didn't have any business prospects on the horizon that he could say.
Yeah. You gotta prove it somehow. You gotta prove it somehow hurt you financially. Not just hurt your feelings.
Well, yeah, the company is fighting back. They're saying that calling someone transgender is not an insult.
Thank you. Yeah. Now I'm a lawyer. Thank you.
You're gonna win this case.
Did you see him just kill a tiny water?
That was one gulp?
But hold that up. Look how small that water looks. Like it came in shot glasses now. And that is a regular 12-ounce bottle of water.
Oh, no.
Oh. Yeah, right? Wow. You want anything else to eat, buddy?
Nah.
You want a cream puff? Cream puff?
Beard Papa.
Nah,
Beard Papa. Beard Papa. Beard Papa. Beard Papa. Beard Papa. This is another reason we get along with Spencer. He likes to chat too. All right, give us another dish, baby. Dish us.
Well, the internet went crazy the other day because Taylor Swift wiped out all of her social media accounts.
Oh,
and,
my God.
Everything.
Then I am going to.
And they're saying it's because she might possibly be releasing a song on Friday or an album.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, how's her old pictures gonna fuck that up? Don't look at those old pictures of mine. Look at this new album. 1985.
I wanted to download your album, but I was looking at pics of you on the beach.
The new album, I saw the cover. It's just her leaned over with some old guy grabbing her ass. And it's called, Help Yourself to Some Young Ass. That guy is the fucking dude right now, right? Yeah. He's got no future in radio.
No, he's done for. I mean, with this fucking first it happened, and then the lawsuit afterwards, and him losing, it's fucking over. He's gonna be working.
He lost 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
One, he lost his money, and two, he had to give her $1. And he actually said to her, I don't have it. Where would I find $1?
That's what my lawsuit was about, that I don't have any money anymore. Think about it, Tay-Tay.
So this is the last dish of the day.
Oh, I was loving this dish.
Spencer Justin's career.
Last dish.
Last dish tonight. Oh, Bill, Papa.
A lot of other, Hollywood parents have come out and said that Charlize Theron is being unfairly criticized for allowing her son to dress like a girl.
I didn't know that she did.
Yeah. Last summer he dressed as Elsa from Disney's Frozen.
Aww.
Yes.
Really
and she,
cute.
she lets him, just be himself, express himself, wear dresses, and they're both actually adopted too. She has two.
Oh, then it doesn't matter.
Two kids.
It doesn't matter what they do. There's no reflection of her.
His name's Jackson.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. It's adorable. No?
I won't say nothing. Very careful not to say anything. I don't care.
Yeah, so a lot of other Hollywood families are saying,
But somebody has been saying that's terrible?
Yes, a lot of people have criticized her for...
Any famous people?
No, not...
Richard Simmons. What the hell is this? I would never myself. I think that's where Richard Simmons stops. Beard Papa, 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 Beard Papa. Oh God!
Into the mic.
You can't even beard popping now.
I beard popping for a good amount of that beard popping time.
Yeah, but then it affected your lungs.
Just immediately give out.
I talked to his doctor. He showed me the X-rays. His heart actually went in through the lining of his lung.
Oh my God!
And it fell down in the bottom of it, like an apple in a bag.
That is not good.
That reminds me of Gurian last night. So he comes up, and no jacket. Mm-hmm. He's just wearing a Hawaiian shirt, wide open, right? And he has a chocolate eclair and a bag. It looked like he went to Dunkin'. So he takes a bite of it, and he puts it back in the bag and kind of seals the bag up. 10 seconds later, he opens up the bag, takes it out, takes a bite, puts it back in the bag, seals it up, waits about 30 seconds.
What's happening?
So finally I had to say, what the fuck? How do you fucking... And he goes like this, I like the chocolate to kick in and make me want more chocolate so I won't eat too fast. So he makes himself crave.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I do too, but I'm still going bite, bite, bite. Like, every time I take a bite, I'm like, can't wait for next bite.
If he had a beard pop at his house, it would be like a mouse got to it. It would just be like little pieces missing for days. That was a great dish today.
Great dish.
What was everybody's favorite story? I think Richard Simmons being taken to school by Charlize Theron was my favorite.
Give me Scary Spice.
But I mean, first of all, he's like the only black kid at this Malibu fucking preschool, and he's dressed like a girl. Now, Grizz, if you in Costa Rica, if you guys had a baby,
yeah,
and that little boy wanted to dress like a girl, would you be accepting?
I mean, look, yes, I wouldn't fucking say no, you can't dress like a girl, I guess, but I'd be weird. I mean, I would guess weird. I don't know. I wouldn't.
You're already a bad father.
Yeah, sounds like shit.
Honest. I wouldn't expect it. I'd be like, okay, yeah, dress like a girl, but I don't know how to handle that. I don't know how to talk about that to a child.
Why don't you hit the child with a basketball and start chasing him down the street?
I don't want.
What about you, Vito?
Would I mind about that? No, cause when I was a little kid, I wore heels one time, and my uncle yelled at me and called me a really mean name, and that was awful. But I didn't like the heels.
First of all little boys like to put on heels.
Yeah, why not?
I remember when I put on my mom's heels, I was walking around and go like this, hot tramp, I love you so. But who wouldn't want to put on a pair of heels?
Yeah.
It's not like putting on a bra and panties.
I wore one for Halloween one year. My mom dressed me up as a pimp when I was in 5th grade, and she gave me her snakeskin heels. I wore them all night. I'm not gonna lie to you. I fucking walked fine in them. Was comfortable.
She found a pair of size 16s.
that was before the growth.
Now, what about you, Spencer? If you had a little boy in a dress, that little boy started dressing like a girl, would you accept or not accept?
I would not accept.
Wow! I thought you were a liberal.
Interesting.
What would you do? Just say Trump wouldn't do this?
I mean, I don't know, but I don't like the idea of boys dressing up as girls, but unless they're transgender.
Yes! That might be the case. What you're saying is you don't like powder puff football. No one does. I mean, that stuff's annoying.
I do like mixed wrestling, though. All right, we got to break here. Hope you guys enjoyed your party. You both had great semesters this year. And we don't pick favorites, but Spencer is the winner. Justin, you win our Jim Thorpe Memorial
Nice.
Award.
That's
You're
good.
our best athlete. All right, we'll break. Is Aaron here?
Not yet, no.
CPT, it should be comic.
That's right.
Comics are late for. I actually had to do a warm up.
Yes.
Because one of the judges was late last night. And they're like, well, the traffic's bad. I go, really? Because I came here by cab. And it was fine. You drink at home. Right back, Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington. Aaron Berg's in studio.
From Street Jokes.
I was on Street Jokes and it airs on Friday on Sirius. It's so exciting.
And you've got a new album out.
Yeah, Mr. Manners live from Long Island City comes out this Friday on Comedy Records.
Where'd you do it in Long Island City?
The Standing Room, and it is the first ever, basically an audiobook done as stand-up in front of a live audience. Never been done before.
What do you mean in an audiobook?
It's from my book, my first book, Mr. Manners. We did 2 live shows that were like 75 minutes each. We took all the best chapters and made it into like a CD. So it's like a reading, but you can't tell it's a reading because the crowd was that good.
Well, that room, it's a small room, but it explodes with laughter because it's just set up acoustically great.
Yeah, it was fantastic. There's 45 people in there, and it was great. And we made an album out of it. So
fantastic.
Rare. Yeah.
You're such a funny guy, but I will also say this. You came, I think, straight from the gym last night, and you were just jacked.
Yeah.
Just jacked. And like the owners of the stand said, Aaron, you gotta put something on. We got an audience here.
Yeah.
We got insurance to worry about.
I think that was you that said that. That wasn't the audience.
But seriously, you've got, how big are the arms right now?
I don't measure. I go by the mirror. Here's my thing. I have body dysmorphia, not prescribed. What's it called when you get a diagnosis? Self-diagnosed. Yeah. What's it called? What's the word diagnosis used in another context? Self-diagnosed body dysmorphia. So I'm addicted to working out because I quit everything else except cigars. So I just go by the mirror and I want to do one more bodybuilding show.
One more.
Yeah, I did one in 97 was my last year, and I want to do one more. So I think I'm going to pick like a date in April and try and be like Mr. Teaneck, New Jersey or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But did they have like an age thing? Because it's tough to go against the 21-year-olds without any body fat, right?
There's the Masters, which is like 40 and up, but those guys are way more jacked than like the novice guys.
I didn't know that.
Because when you're over 40, you can get steroids legally prescribed and be like, my testosterone's low and so is my equipoise levels. And they're like, that's a horse tranquilizer. So the old guys are are huge. I don't want to compete. I mean, I don't want to juice hard. You know, maybe I dabble in a bit of juice. Maybe I would. Yeah, I would. I think to do one more show, maybe I'd do a 6-week cycle. I think I would.
Have you ever got into arm wrestling or anything like that?
I'm the worst arm wrestler.
Is that right?
I lose to like little skinny women, and they'll be like, "You're a loser."
That's fucking is so interesting because the arms are jacked.
Yeah, but I don't think it's arms. I think it's about leverage, and I think I have no wrist strength. Look how small my joints are.
Yeah.
Tiny. I'm really bad at that. I can't do it. It embarrasses me. I did it once against a busboy when I was a bouncer, and they're like, the busboy beat you.
Yeah. That's how Chris's girlfriend talks. She's from Costa Rica.
Really?
She doesn't.
Yeah, she does.
I've met her.
She's like, Essie, have you seen Chris around, man? Me and him.
This guy's crazy.
He's crazy, man.
He's got a lot of heart, carnal. Maybe too much heart.
Chris, make sure you plug today, because this is a big thing for my buddy.
Well, Aaron Berg's in studio. His new album, Mr. Manners, Proper Etiquette for the Modern Degenerate, live from Long Island City, comes out this Friday on Comedy Records. Go to aaronberg.com for all information and all of Aaron Berg's dates.
And just when you go out to see Aaron work, nobody crowd works like him. You go through a room so fast, though.
Yeah, but you're so funny at crowd work now that it's like, it's such a pleasure to work with you. And we don't hit on the same stuff ever.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Because we're so different. Yeah. But it's, you're a monster. I remember the first show that you came back on, and I think you were rusty, but still so loose and so natural. And I was like, what the fuck? Where'd Ron come from? And then like in 2 weeks, it just came back to you, and you're just like masterfully work. It's such a pleasure to watch.
What is, and you know, last night we were doing a thing, and I'm looking at Anthony's fucking timing on stage. Like, I'm like, what, dude, come out to the stand. I'm gonna fucking try to get him to come down and do stuff.
I thought he was gonna not do as well as he did. And then I'm watching him while he's doing it, and I'm like, oh, he's a master at this. Like, he probably grew up doing street jokes.
Yeah, he's very natural at it.
And wasn't it weird that he and Adam Ferrara were kids together and knew each other, and then both of them, have had fucking cool careers?
Yeah.
Adam's career is crazy. Movies, TV, that fucking gear show that people go crazy for.
I watched, when I grew up, when I started stand-up, I would watch him on old Just for Laughs things. He was very it was a lot of relationship humor back then, I think, but it was still great. And you're like, oh, this guy's going to have a good career. It was he was around the same time, I think, as like Geraldo, and they looked very similar, but their styles were so contrasted. It was so fun to watch. He's such a funny guy. I had no idea he'd be there last night.
He's a very funny guy. I didn't know that you guys know each other, because normally people meet somewhere along the line. Yeah. But he's an LA guy, and he had like a TV show that lasted 7 years, and he's always got these things. When Bonnie McFarlane had a TV show, he was one of the characters on it.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And she said she learned more about life and stuff because he would come in, like she'd be worried about doing the show and in her trailer, and he'd come in and he was friends with the makeup people, and he was friends with the people with the food.
Yeah.
He's just a sweet guy and sees everybody the same, and she's like, oh, that's the way to be.
Yeah. I think when you first get into TV, you're like, I'm better than all these people. And then you realize, oh, everybody is contributing towards making this piece of art. And then it becomes like a family. That's why people say that.
And they're going to be here longer than me. They'll still be in the business when I'm out, because those skills are tough to pick up. Chris, you're not plugging today? There's no...
I apologize. Aaron Berg is in studio. His new album, Mr. Manners, Proper Etiquette for the Modern Degenerate, live from Long Island City. That comes out this Friday, August 25th on Comedy Records. You go to aaronberg.com for all his dates and more information about the new album.
And as we said, very, very funny guy. You'll hear him tomorrow in Street Jokes. That show I thought it was great, because you're like, well, this is nerve-wracking. I can't be myself. I have to do something else. But isn't that funny that every time you do something like that, you feel better afterwards?
Yeah.
You're like, I thought I was going to hate it, but I did it.
It was invigorating. And let me say this, that audience that you have is so supportive. And it's probably like, because the way you guys started the show, but they were on board for everything.
Yeah.
You got a show there. That's a show.
That's one of the shows that we're doing, and then I got one more that I might want to do on the Thanksgiving show.
That one is a very great concept, so it'll be interesting.
It's the most complicated concept we have now, right?
But I think it has like big ability.
But I don't believe that Aaron hasn't done the 101 because he'd be fucking perfect for that show.
He would be perfect
I'd
for
love
it.
to do 101.
He's perfect for every show. I've never seen him have a bad set. This guy's a fucking monster.
Once 3 weeks ago. But I still have bad ones, but they're rare, but I bombed really badly in Brooklyn like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Went to an urban room and went up and was killing, and then a new table came in, and it was like just a little bar with 20 people, and they sat down and just started talking. And and I was like, hey, how are you? And she said something like, yo mama. And I was like, thanks, Nick Cannon with a wig. And then the whole, you could hear the record scratch. People started talking, and I was like, I'm like, oh, I'm bombing. Okay, I'm bombing. And I'm like, I'm eating a dick up here. And I kept looking back for the light, and I'm like, are we gonna, my mind went blank, and it was like an old school bomb. And I was like, okay. And then 4 nights later, I went to Harlem, and I was like, I gotta redeem myself. And that show went great, but it was like, you still need to eat shit once in a while to just be reminded.
Can happen to anybody anytime. Yeah. It's so fucking funny. And I mean, you just have to see it as this is hilarious.
Right.
Yeah. It's like you said, I am bombing.
Do you think that's specific to stand up, or like, do you think that people who are like musicians or rock stars just go out there and go, man, I fucking played in a way that I thought I had it, and
I don't think it hurts as much though. I think you can look at each other and be just like, taking care of it. You know what I mean? You can turn, but when you're up there by yourself and you're saying they're turning their backs on me, you know what I mean? In that, Seinfeld movie, Comedian, he goes back to Governors after finishing Seinfeld. Yeah. And they're talking through his act. Yeah. And he's like this, and he hates them because they're Long Island Jews. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. And he's a Long Island Jew. And he goes like this, how big do you have to be in this fucking room? Yeah. You know?
He goes, this is everything you hate about yourself staring back at you. And he bombed really badly. But I like bombing originally now. Like I find some guys bomb and they go, oh, you guys aren't giving these jokes I know these jokes, right? And I'll just go, no, I'm not good tonight.
No, not tonight.
I feel like what Gail said, like it's like anything, like you're gonna have a bad day no matter what you do. And it's just, sometimes you hope it doesn't happen. When I was younger, you'd be like, oh, this is a showcase. I have to do well, and you have to push. The longer you do it, you're just like, I'm going to do what I do. Right. And most of the time it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
And the other thing is, whether you kill or bomb, 2 days later it's forgotten by you, by them. You know what I mean? Like, everything is temporary. Nothing builds upon itself anymore.
And I'm going to tell you this. Bombing is the new killing. Because you look at the people that get the stuff from the industry now, they're not the killers. A lot of the guys that are newer, you'll watch showcases like for Montreal and stuff, and you'll be like, oh, this person can't be going to Montreal. And they're like, oh, they got Montreal. And it was like, no, I've watched them bomb twice in a row, but
It's funny, I'm just the opposite with it though, you know? I want a fucking Jimmy Schubert that fills laughter in every second. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want a guy who wants to kill. Yeah. You know? But I know what you mean, that the young guys will just be sitting back and you see them leaning against the wall and you're like, you haven't been doing this long enough to lean. Yeah. You know? Let Chappelle lean. You don't lean yet.
I love killing because here's what I like, is that it becomes a dialogue and their laughter is what they're saying. Like, you're saying words and their laughter is that. So it just bounces back and forth and it becomes this jazzy type of dialogue where there's like a crescendo and then you can lean back. And that's where the jazzy aspect of it comes in. It's really, that's what makes stand-up cool. And the fact you can say whatever you want.
Yeah. But I will say this about Aaron Berg, and you can't say this about many people. I see him kill 4 minutes after the show has started. Like, these people were talking to each other, and 4 minutes later, they're into a rolling laugh and I'm like, that's pretty fucking impressive. Like, that fact that thing that you do.
To take an audience from 0 to 60 like that quickly. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Thank you.
I saw somebody one night, I'm not going to tell you who it was, get upset like, how the fuck am I supposed to follow? You know, he starts at this level, how am I supposed to follow?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's your thing, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to.
I find like when you're working with really good people, you just set the table and we're like, here, and here you go.
It is.
And then that's why when I'm hosting, I don't have to do shit in between because there's so many good comics that are on, and you just go, this is, let's keep it going. And
there was a time when you would have had to, well, maybe this even happens outside of New York, rebuild the room back up. But if you go to the stand, the cellar, there's no one dropping the fucking ball. Nobody. Yeah. It's crazy when you think about that. Because when I had my own club, I was like, fuck, I got to go back up there now and bring these fuckers back and hand it off to somebody else. You know, because, you know, you're in Florida and you don't have just fucking look at the people that were doing drop-ins. Fucking street shows. They should be on TV.
Yeah.
Fucking giant fucking guys that just have big specials out now.
Yeah.
I'm looking over at the iBang, this story where Tig is ripping Louis C.K. and she's bringing up about some fucking allegations I don't think that anybody ever made. But she also makes the point of this. He's the executive producer of her show, and she goes, he's got zero to do with this. This is me and the writers. Right. We edit it. It has nothing to do. I never saw anybody rip on Louis like that. Do you know Tig?
No. Yeah, and I don't know Louis well. I mean, I've brought Louis on stage a few times. I know him enough to be like, hey, Louis, how are you? And he'll be like, good. And then I'm like, okay, that's as far as the conversation has to go.
Well, let me know if you need me, Louis, on any future projects.
But why are you ripping your executive producer, first of all? And why is he exec producing a thing with somebody that hates him?
I don't know. Maybe he helped her get the show before.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one who put out her special that was like right as she announced that she had breast cancer.
Yeah, so
he had put that on his website, and I think he maybe even had something to do with the next one. And then I'm not sure. I mean, the title of executive producer is so strange because it means so many different things. It's kind of a made up title when it comes to movies and TV sometimes, because sometimes that person could be very involved, and sometimes that person put up money, and sometimes that person is just like,
they're signing off on it.
You know what I mean?
But you need that person to make a call.
Yeah, of course. You know? So, I definitely believe that it's possible that he has little to do with her show. But I also don't think that that's very atypical of executive producer credits.
Like
sometimes.
a Chuck Lorre or something like that. Yeah. But the difference of, look, if you fucking send a bunch of stuff to SiriusXM, they might never listen to it. Mm-hmm. But if you give it to me, I could walk down the hall and say, here, do me a favor, dude, listen to this. Yeah. I know this dude. And that's kind of, a giant thing when you're trying to get in anywhere. Yeah. Well, you know what it's like when you're trying to get in a club. It's so much better to have somebody call and say, this is my friend, I work with him, he's great. That is the way to get in, not sending tapes over and over.
Yeah.
So, I definitely don't know the specifics, but I will say that that's not atypical of an executive producer credit. A lot of times, that person has no creative impact.
I didn't know that, because I know he does the other show, the one...
Better Things?
Is that what it's called? I get Better Things. Yeah, Better Things.
Better Things.
I was thinking Stranger Things. And I'm
then
like,
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, you're going to be an idiot if you say this. But yeah, he's very involved in that.
Yeah,
and he's executive producer.
That's why the title, it kind of just depends on the project. It's kind of like an umbrella term, and it can be anything from very hands-on to...
So you're saying there was no reason for her to even bring it up?
No, I mean, I definitely don't know the specifics of the story, but I do know that it certainly is possible that somebody could be an executive producer and not have creative input, but it sounds like that they have a personal issue, and that's why she feels the need to distance herself from him.
Well, this is the other things. The thing of saying he better talk about his sexual misconduct allegations when nobody's going on the record about that. Those are just
She brought this up because of the insinuations that Kirkman made. Remember, Jen Kirkman said something about like this. He's a director now, very influenced by French cinema,
but never said his name.
Never said his name. And now I think maybe Tig is on board with that. And I mean, rape is never good. Let's just say that. And any form of sexual assault, never good. And you can't jack off on female openers' feet. It's very frowned upon in the business. They have a memo at the stand now.
Right.
Finally.
You may be tempted.
Did you see that, Derek?
Yeah.
You can't do it. Sherrod, stop massaging people.
Yeah. It's creepy. It's really creepy. I don't know if he did. I don't know him well enough to do that. But this is really, I mean, he did break her. She was always a good comic, but he really took her to that next stratosphere by saying, hey, this is some of the best stand-up I've seen.
Yeah, and she was mainly known on the West Coast, not on the East Coast, right before he did that.
And then she's like, thanks. And then 2 years later, she's like, you're a rapist. Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. It's a real hot buzzword nowadays.
Yeah, of course it is. It's, but it's also the thing that if you throw that at somebody, it's tough to,
I think Louis established enough that it's not going to hurt him, but it could.
You say that to Bill Cosby.
Yeah, I mean, it tarnished his legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think a lot of younger people are like, oh, it'll fuck with your money or it'll do. But I think at that point, you're like, oh, it's his legacy. I mean, he's been one of the best stand-up comics around for a long time. Very innovative, very creative. And to have that, look, are less people going to go to MSG to see Louis because of these allegations? Probably not, but murmurings in the comedy community will probably make people sideways glance at him.
But yeah, it never, I don't think it's ever affected Woody Allen's career.
And he's a dirty guy too. What's this thing where you get older, you get dirtier? The older I get, the less I'm even interested in sex.
When you get on that testosterone.
Yeah.
You might bring it all back.
Aaron Berg's in the studio.
Why would you bring it up now when we're talking about these kind of allegations?
Don't associate his new album.
Actually, once they listen to it, they'll get it.
Yeah.
Aaron's new album, Mr. Manners, Proper Etiquette for the Modern Degenerate, live from Long Island City, comes out Friday, August 25th on Comedy Records. Go to aaronberg.com for all his dates and more information, and at Aaron Berg Comedy on Twitter.
I just caught poor Vito. He waited until the focus, and then he bit into a cream puff. And you look so guilty. Just to eat your cream puff.
You're allowed to eat.
Nobody's judging you.
I am.
How is it?
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was great.
You need some water?
Yeah.
Say baby. Say baby.
You okay? Okay.
Sorry.
Can't be around joking.
I feel horrible about this stuff. I wonder if these stories affect us more because we're in comedy and if like the mainstream media even knows about this.
But isn't it weird how little it happens in rock and roll? And those guys are fucking, you just think there's so few rock and roll people that ever got accused of rape or sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
And they're fucking animals.
Yeah.
You know? You never heard about Axl Rose? Never, like, oh, there's allegations against them. No.
No. But Axl Rose didn't look like a balding middle-aged man like Lou.
I would say this, Axl never looked good. There was no point.
He had a thing about him.
Yeah, from a distance.
Yeah.
He is what's known as a faraway fox. But you get closer, you're like, oh, that's repulsive. And now he's just straight up Mickey Rourke.
It's really sad. Like, it's to the point where if I was single now, I would be so chivalrous and so caring and so attentive to women's needs.
Right.
Just to place women up on this pedestal, which I think we should naturally do. Like I do that with my wife. But if I was single, I would do it too.
I think you should also place other guys on the pedestal. I think you should just
get on up there, buddy.
Like I'm only good to women. There's also... It's creepy.
Yeah.
When you're only good to women.
Yeah, it is. And the people that are like, I'm a male feminist.
Yeah, I mean, I think saying I'm a feminist is saying like I'm not racist.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I don't have to be black to say I'm for civil rights. No, I'm not, but I understand that wouldn't be a bad thing if I said that. Chris, would you consider yourself a feminist?
Yeah, I'm a feminist, yeah.
Yeah. Vito?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, but most guys don't say that. Do you think you are, Aaron?
I have a daughter on the way now in like 3 weeks, so I feel like Look, I was a dirtbag for years.
I know.
Yeah, a real, not a.
But that doesn't mean you have to stay there.
No, I mean, I got around, but now I wonder if there was like another women's march in 2 years, if I would go.
Well, here's the thing. Number one, you can have sex with women and still be a feminist. Even a lot of women.
Women who are feminists tend to have sex, too.
They also have sex. And then two, you have that difficult thing you're having a baby with a woman that's funnier than you.
Hey! What? I have a girlfriend on the side?
No, you,
my wife is very funny.
Yeah. And then you guys are planning on having a funny baby. I mean, whatever you have, as long as it's healthy. But it seems like two parents, if you're breeding at all, you gotta have a funny kid.
Yeah.
Look at Voss and Bonnie's kid.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I've never met her, but I repeatedly hear stories from comics saying
she had a standing ovation as Stress Factor.
Yeah. She closes the shows now. Yeah. It's like the Partridge Family. They bring the kid out to close it.
They bring the kid, and Rich will say, "Tell him about buying my album," and she'll go, "I don't give a fuck about your album."
Did she say that?
Yeah. Place goes crazy.
I saw her in a green room, and I said, "Hi, Raina. How are you tonight? You have dinner plans with your mother after this?" And she goes, "What do you care, pervert?"
Yeah.
And then looked at me, and I go, "Pervert?" She goes, "What are you, like 80, pervert?" And then and I was like, "Why you?" And there was people around, so I'm like, I can't let her stay there. I'm one of the best roasters in the city, so I'm and it's hard to go after a kid. And I was like, where'd you learn to talk like that? What would your mother, like, that's what I'm saying. And then finally I was like, nice fake Uggs. And then I walked out. Yeah. And then Rich called me and he goes, I'm sorry about my daughter. And he goes, by the way, they're not fake Uggs. That was what he cared about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His footwear is everything. How'd you do with the roast last night?
I won the roast. I went against Karen Fian in the main event. And it only went 2 rounds and, it was good. So I won.
Who were the judges?
Michael Che, Michael Lawrence, Big J. Okerson.
What a big night.
Tony Hinchcliffe. There was somebody else who went, Rich Voss. And then, some of the guys from The Wave were there.
Cool.
So I did that and Mike Lawrence very impressed. He said, I love watching you do these. This is the only time you write. And, which is true.
Because he writes constantly.
He writes constantly. Yeah. He just takes all of his stuff off the Huffington Post website. And now I think that the TV show is going to come back this year. So we'll see if they'd like me to do the TV show. And then I think after that I will retire from battling.
I'd love to see you on that show, though. That seems.
I did
perfect.
it a year ago, but I did a character and it bombed horribly.
Everybody said that. Now, why did you decide to do the character? Why did you think it would work?
Ross used to do characters a little bit, so I was like, I'm going to be the guy that does the characters. And I did one against Louis J. Gomez, where I came back as the ghost of his dead father and roasted him and destroyed him. And then I roasted Kurt Metzger. And I came as Kurt Metzger. And that was a draw, but they gave it to Kurt because he was going through some stuff. And then I went against this girl, and I was like, I'm going to dress up as her terrorist dad that left when she was 7. And I went out, and everyone was just offended. And I tanked so, and I remember sweat. And then afterwards, I took the beard and the hat off, and I remember Norton going, this looks like a poor guy that just had the worst Halloween and came home. It was so sad. And after that, I'm like, I'm not doing characters anymore. So I've done 2 roasts since then. I've won the roast since then. But
Anthony was just telling me the other day that he wouldn't let you on your show once because you came in dressed as something.
Wouldn't let me on his show, yeah. There's a character I do called DeAndre Harambe Jenkins, which, he gets very offended by.
So this is Anthony.
Anthony's offended by something.
Do not do that character here.
Yeah. I walked in on election night and he goes, not now, Harambe. It was scary. I mean, they let us do everything over there. So
you having a good time over there?
It's so much fun. I think we're going to go up to a few more shows. We're talking about it today. So we're either going to go to 2 or we may we're talking about possibly taking 4 days a week morning slot.
That's a grind, dude.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like you got to get up early, you got to be there
get up
every day.
And you just got to fill time. You know what I mean? Like doing something every once in a while is always fun. But as soon as like this is our 50th show, I'm like, oh man.
That's what my fear is.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, it'd be great to make some more money and have like a solid thing and then not have to scramble for spots all the time. But then you're like, it's going to be exhausting. And our show's so energetic right now.
Right.
We can't keep that.
No, you can't.
No,
you can't. But yeah, you guys do. Particularly your partner bounces off the fucking walls.
Off the walls.
He's a wild man.
And he loves boozing.
Yeah.
And I don't want him boozing at 10:30 in the morning, pounding scotch back.
No, I love the fact that you just broke the story that Opie is never going there now. Because that was a rumor for a while, Opie in the mornings.
Yeah.
And, you're saying, no, they're offering you mornings.
We talked about it today. I mean, I don't know if Opie comes over, I think it's great, but, if he doesn't, we're going to consider it. But we will be increasing to at least twice a week.
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
Good to hear that.
It's very over the top.
What do you think about Artie joining Ant? That's, pretty wild.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
He's so funny. You and I have talked about this. He's so funny. He's got so many great references that you've never heard of, but become universal through him talking about them. And, I think it's great for the network. I think Anthony's climbed out of that abyss that he was in a few years ago, and he's just back to straight funny now. And he's so funny. I think him and Artie playing off of each other are going to be killer.
Well, when Artie, popped in when I was there the other day, I was literally like a beat behind him because his references were so funny and obscure. And I know for a fact that it could not have been planned because he was late. He hadn't really talked to Anthony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were in a whole nother scene when he came in, and he's just flat out scary fucking fun. And then, I'm sitting there, Anthony's there, Norton's there, and then with Artie, you're like, holy fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
I'm already with the two funniest fucking people. Right. And then he comes in and what's always interesting about funny is somebody can be hilarious in an incredibly different way than somebody else. It's bizarre when you think about it.
Yeah. So weird to watch like you guys in there and then to take it to that next level where you guys are killing each other and then have somebody come in and kill all three of you. It's just great.
I was fucking falling out.
Yeah.
Falling out. And then I'm thinking like, oh, maybe this is a good idea. These two fucking you know what I mean? Like I kind of thought it was a funny idea, but it's a hilarious idea.
Yeah.
And who knows what, like they're like, yeah, it probably won't work. You know what I mean? This will probably get very ugly.
We want Artie to stay healthy. I think that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
And, to show up would be great. That'd be,
me and you saw Artie a lot last winter when he was putting together stuff because he was going to do this crashing tour. And he would be like, I'd see him come in and he's just, he'd be all rumpled in had his hat up crazy and it's in the winter, and he just walks on stage with a big crazy ski cap that doesn't fit and still having his coat on and, and he's killing it, right? And then I would say, man, that was fucking great. He goes, I don't know, these alt people in this crashing tour are going to fucking hate me. He goes, they're going to fucking spit at me. And then I see those guys, Apatow and Pete, after that tour and they're like, it's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they went crazy for him. But that's the thing. He doesn't even have to be in the best shape.
Yeah.
To be hilarious.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to be as good as everybody wants him to be, so he'll, be okay.
Which is why you get how addiction works on comics, because like when I used to drink, I was still funny and I was like, I could get hammered and go up and do this.
Right.
And it doesn't get in the way.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a difficult thing to deal with if it doesn't get in the way of what you're doing,
Well, it's that way for cops too. They can be drunk at work and nobody knows.
Pilots.
I was gonna say
like a bad lieutenant. Open your fucking mouth. You get scared, Vito, for a second? Eat some of your fucking beard, Papa. Go ahead, take a nice bite of it.
Eat a little.
Don't feel like we're going to...
I don't judge you.
No, a nice bite. A nice big bite.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
No wonder he's so
Not the
large.
paper. Don't eat the paper.
Oh, yours is chocolate inside, huh?
How's
I had a
that?
vanilla. Oh, you got chocolate on the bottom of the beard?
That's okay.
How good's that taste to you?
It's worth weighing this much.
Yeah. But do you eat like that often?
That's a great line.
Vito, how often would you eat a cream puff a week?
I don't know. I could go every day after this one.
Every day, a cream puff.
I would.
Yeah.
It's only like, what, 300, 400 calories?
Yeah. And then do you get a rush when you eat it? You feel good right now, right?
Yeah, I'm probably going to be bouncing off the walls in like 20 minutes.
And then what happens after that?
Take a nap.
You just fall asleep outside? Yeah.
Falls asleep with a cigarette in his mouth. Chris, please plug. He's got a big album coming out.
I apologize. Aaron Berg is in studio. His new album, Mr. Manners, Proper Etiquette for the Modern Degenerate, live from Long Island City, comes out Friday, August 25th on Comedy Records. Go to aaronberg.com for all his dates and more information. And In Hot Water airs Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Compound Media, compoundmedia.com.
The album's only $5.99 when it first comes out. How cheap is that?
Nice. Well worth.
$5.99?
$5.99?
I have a baby to support. How
I get one from me and one from my brother. Yeah, you got a baby due when?
Wife's got to breastfeed till she's 18. September 7th if it's a C-section.
Yeah.
And, if not, could happen anytime. I mean, my wife is incredibly uncomfortable. She sleeps on the couch. She makes all these weird noises now.
Do it.
But we have a wonderful doula. So it's so exciting.
Yeah.
She's so soothing. And, if you haven't had a doula before, you gotta get a doula. I have a name of a great one. And, just so soothing. Yesterday my wife was nauseous and she came over and just like, by the time she left, my wife felt great again.
That's fantastic.
She's so, it's a world of difference to have an expert doula.
Yeah. Now you, does it give you a guilt feeling when you see what your wife is going through? You get the nerves, but you don't have the uncomfortable feeling.
Here's what I really feel, and it will initially sound horrible. What I really feel is that we're going through extraordinary circumstances. My wife was fired from her job for being pregnant, a few months in. They fired, wow. She's like, I'm a high risk pregnancy. They go, we need a letter to prove that so we can adjust your workload. She gave them a letter saying I'm a high risk pregnancy because she has a blood type, which is Rh negative, and because of her age. And once they got the letter, they're like, thanks for the letter. You can't work here anymore because of this letter, so you're fired. And they fired her. So she's been out of work since February.
That can't be legal.
It's not. We have, we got a lawyer and we're going after this place. So I really had to step up, making money and taking care of us and covering the whole nut, which I never had to do because she was working before. So for me, that was very difficult. And she's like, I'm going through this. And I'm like, well, I'm going through all this working and it was a selfish thing, but I was providing for my family. But yeah. I felt that selfish nudge. And then after you see her living with the baby and we become closer physically and mentally, then you're like, why was I even feeling this thing when it's just like, and it's not supposed to be easy. A pregnancy is not supposed to be easy on anybody. So then I become much more empathetic towards my wife and what she's going through and what her body's going through. So now when people are like, oh, how's your wife doing? Do you feel left out when no one asks how you're doing? I'm like, no, because she's the one that is actually going through it. And at the end of the day, everything works out. So it was like, okay, I got to make more money. And that's it. So I set out, I made more money. I work harder. I only take off 1 or 2 nights a month and the rest of the time I work, but I love what I do. So it's not like, I'm not digging ditches. I'm not, blowing dudes at the Port Authority unless it's for fun. And, you just do what you do. And I'm so happy, but I can see what she's going through. And it's like, to deal with that and be in pain so often.
It's such an odd thing to be pregnant, to have a human being inside you.
Yeah.
You wonder why men can't figure, you know what I mean? We just can't understand. Like, I guess we can imagine a knife inside after a bullet. We fantasize about that. I'll be all right, man. You go on. But a baby, a skeleton with meat wrapped around it, and it's inside you. Right? Oh, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
I don't want to run God down, but I don't know what he was thinking. There's got to be a better way.
Yeah, and then the exit plan is not well thought out either.
Exit.
You're like, that's what you came up with?
She wants it out now. She's like, today she was like, can you just punch me in the stomach? So I'm like, I don't think that speeds it up. But all right.
Too bad it wasn't during your drinking years.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. To, we got like a little corner for the baby now. You know, we're in a 1-bedroom, so she made a whole little space for the baby. I'm really excited.
We were just talking today to a guy from LA, our friend G Baby, who writes about movies, and he's like, I want to get a house because we want to start a family. I'm like, it takes years before the baby needs
a room.
You know what I mean? Like their own room. Like, I didn't even like the babies in the other room.
It's too far.
I mean? It's too far away.
Yeah.
You know? You're just like, let's all stay in here. And that's when I bought a really gigantic bed. I don't know whether it was called a Super King, but there was always room.
Yeah.
Always room to come in.
I'm worried about, I think it's a selfish thing where I'm like, sometimes I like time on the couch alone. So if there's not, and I think that's why men give in and make those man caves and stuff.
Sure.
Just to get that little bit of space.
Yeah, just get yourself a lazy boy and you're like, this is
Nobody get in this.
No, you don't sit it. When her brother was so little, every time I get up there to take a piss, I come back and he'd be sitting in the chair smiling. Like, I know it's your chair. And I was like, I really don't ask for much. You know what I mean? But I will fucking knock you out at age 2 over this chair.
What about smoking cigars? Did you get to smoke cigars when you had the kids around?
Yeah, I would hand them one. I mean, I never, we would sit down and smoke together.
Yeah. It was a different time.
Help me. It's so cute when they're little. And they cough so much.
I don't want to give up smoking cigars.
I had to be told to put up my cigar at a PTA meeting. That's how,
really?
different Florida is. They're like, I go, not for all the fucking money I'm spending here.
Yeah. Sir, could you leave your AR-15 at the door?
Chris, you never plug, and we're at the end of the show, and you know how much I love Aaron.
Aaron Berg's in studio. His new album, Mr. Manners, Proper Etiquette for the Modern Degenerate, live from Long Island City. It comes out this Friday, August 25th on Comedy Records. And that first day, $5.99. AaronBerg.com for all his dates and more information. And In Hot Water airs Tuesdays at 2 p.m. East on Compound Media, compoundmedia.com.
Now, do you jump into all the football talk?
Not at all.
Not at all,
no.
huh? And he's like a madman for it.
Gino loves it. Yeah, he's horrible at it. None of what he says is ever right, but he believes it like gospel. And he'll be like, let me tell you this about Kaepernick. And I'm like, it's wrong.
But, Chris, isn't it true that you see it all before it turns, like, when you're picking games, it seems so obvious until it's not.
It's the most obvious thing in the world. It's like, this is death. There's no way they don't cover it -6.5 or whatever the line is. It makes all the sense in the world. It's so, that's why football's so fucked up. Because then it goes the actual way it goes, and you're like, why the fuck didn't I see that coming?
And by the way, this is why there can be giant casinos. Because a guy like Chris still will be betting his ass off.
Yes, I will.
And Gino gets that angry too when he talks about it.
Crazy
Very emphatic.
I watch everything that he does.
Daddy's picks.
Football. Daddy's picks, and Daddy loves it. Daddy's good. And literally, though, he's as good as anybody at the Fan. He really is.
He's horrible, because then at the end of the year, he's like, we went 49% this year, which is great. I'm like, that's worse than a coin toss.
It is true, but that's still fairly high.
It's pretty good.
Go pick up this album, everybody.
Mr. Manners, Proper Etiquette for the Modern Degenerate, live from Long Island City, comes out this Friday, August 25th on Comedy Records. AaronBerg.com for all dates and more information. At Aaron Berg Comedy on Twitter. And In Hot Water airs Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Compound Media.
And as I said, Aaron is a killer. Go see him in the clubs. He just fucking drops a hammer. Also one of the better people doing comedy. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and we'll do this again with the whole family sometime. Your whole new family can come in.
With a baby Bjorn.
Time to start and pitch some of those TV pilots.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's it for us. See you again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!